Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Off Topic Pod. No, I'm kidding. It's the High Council Podcast, back again with another episode. Today, you've read the title, I would assume. If not, you wouldn't have clicked on it, unless you're some sort of die-hard fans, which I don't think we have that yet. It would be amazing, but probably not. Anyways, it's a Kenobi review, obviously. And today, to discuss this... Well, I'm not going to give my opinion on it yet, but to discuss this series, we've got one of our actual members, someone that is part of the podcast, 100%. We got Vector.
Why, yes. Hello there, and welcome to the High Council Podcast.
Brilliant. Couldn't have said it better. I just did. Never mind.
Whatever.
And then, and then we got a guest making yet another return. Your boy Gorm.
Hello there.
What did you just say?
I think he said hello there, but he said it in a weird fucking way.
The Patrick impressions ain't working because my mic doesn't pick up the beginning of it.
Hello
So it just
there.
sounds like
Jesus.
It sounds like a British Patrick saying
It sounded
hello
like
there.
you were speaking whale from Finding Dory.
Yeah, you sound like you were speaking whale, but it was like you were speaking whale, but as if the whale was like sick and had like the flu or some shit. Anyways.
I could say it like General Kenobi if that would be better.
Tangent.
Anyways, tangent, yes, the fucking high tangent podcast. Anyways, so we're going to discuss this wonderful series. I just gave my opinion on it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great show. Let's actually just run through the table. What do we think of, just quick notes, what do we think of the overall show, beginning to end? Not like any specific episode, specific moment. What do we think? What rating do we... Fuck it. Let's give it a rating. Let's start with doing ratings now, guys. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Victor.
Oh, that's not
10.
gonna hurt anyone's feelings.
No. Don't worry about it. We are IMDb now. We're IMDb. 1 to 10.
Well, then we have to rate everything unfairly. So you're good. Okay.
No.
So-
Okay. Sorry, we're Rotten Tomatoes, but we are the fan
That's
score.
worse.
We're the fan
Or
score.
the fan score. Okay, never mind. Then you're correct.
And
Then
so, what
God.
1 to 10
1 to 10, honestly,
as a whole?
I would have to give it a 5. Like, just average viewing experience for me. Like,
Jesus.
there is some hot. I wish it could have been a lot better had the writing been a bit better, but obviously, if you've seen the show, you understand that. But yeah, it's, in my opinion, I just feel like it's kind of average.
Obi-Wan said hello there to Luke.
I know.
That's enough to
We
bump
had
it
the
up to
Leia. We had the
least.
Leia Forest chase scene, and that just immediately brought it down.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I see your point there. All right, Gorm, from 1 to 10, what do you rate this television show?
I'd say a solid 6, maybe 6.5, because that last episode was pretty good.
No, he's got a point. I
He
mean,
does have a point.
That last episode carried the whole season.
I wish it had carried it for me in the same way, but
No,
I couldn't get past the problems.
You know what? I just had a realization. The entire Kenobi series is like the prequel series. Almost all of it is dog shit, but like the end of it carries the entirety of it.
You're correct.
Okay,
He's got a point there.
He do have point. Issue is, for me, is I like all 3 movies. So, anyways,
Shit.
I do think that Phantom Menace is the weakest. So if anything, that's exactly my opinion on the prequels. Is exactly how I feel about the Kenobi series as well. Is first third the worst, mostly episode 2 carrying it down. Then second half, good and bad. There are positives and negatives. Episode 4 I think is really good, and then episode 3 not as good. And then you have the final 2 episodes, as in then episode 3, which I just think is fucking great. So that is essentially it. So my rating would be a solid 7.5 to 7 3/4, just to fuck with the rating. say no, 7.5. I would definitely give it. I think, yeah, we'll get into specific episode, but I think it is a bit up and down, and then a big rise at the end. Okay, so we all have a few key moments, or like you guys specifically have given me some key moments that I think we're gonna fill up the gaps very nicely as well. A few key moments to each episode that we're gonna talk about, and I think to start off, I think talk about okay, what's going on in this episode. Vector, do you want to do like a quick little recap on this? We're only 3 on the podcast. We do have a bit extra time because of that, so let's get this even better and do a quick little recap. What are like some of the things that how does the episode move essentially, Vector?
Oh, the first episode.
First episode, yes, episode 1.
Okay, yeah. So the first episode is honestly it's kind of slow with Obi-Wan's everyday routine. He's working at this meat shop that's using the carcass of a dead animal to supply a town in Tatooine. You see that he goes off and he rides his like whatever is his kind of horse thing, and he does that every day, and he commutes in his little cave, and then you just see he's just really trying to lay low. Like that's all Obi-Wan's really trying to do in this episode is just lay low. But of course, the Inquisitors come and they screw everything over, and that essentially drives the plot of the show. Is that like kind of good, or do I need to go a little bit more into it?
No, that's pretty good. That's also not giving away too much, but also giving away just enough. Even though there are obviously spoilers on this podcast, but if we can keep it to a minimum, minimum during the recaps, then that's all good. Okay, so now let's take this in terms of because you ended that on the Inquisitors. I guess that's a good way to start off with one of the things that Gorm has brought up as a key point, and that is Uncle Owen protecting Obi-Wan. Now, obviously, Uncle Owen, it's clear as soon as Obi-Wan even gets near Owen at any point, it's very clear that Owen isn't so happy with Obi-Wan. Doesn't really want him. Well, for one, he doesn't want him there, but also he doesn't want him near Luke at all. Probably, I mean, I say probably, but he does say this in a fucking roast on Obi-Wan, is he doesn't want him to end up like Anakin, essentially. He's clearly grown attached to Luke. Yeah. He's grown attached to Luke, which obviously it makes sense because he is his uncle, but also just like he's
more of a father figure.
He's like a father figure now, right? Growing attached to Luke, doesn't want him to end up like Anakin, kind of just wants him to live a normal life like a normal kid. But Obi-Wan, obviously the plan from the get-go, but still kind of sucks is that Obi-Wan, well, he wants him to become a Jedi because in their mind, not obviously fucking Return of the Jedi happening yet, obviously, they think that Luke is the chosen one. So for them, or for Obi-Wan, and I guess probably Yoda somewhere as well, they think that, okay, well, Anakin failed, so he's not the chosen one, so what about his son? Although Anakin is the chosen one. Done and dusted. Never mind. Anyways, so that's the thing. And so he talks with Obi-Wan. They have a bit of a fight, essentially. They have a bit of a discussion where your boy goes, yeah, like you train his father. And that was a deep cut. That was a deep cut to Obi-Wan from fucking Owen. But I kind of respect it because like I feel Owen, you know what I mean? I feel him. But we all know how it ends. It's kind of
shocking. It's really kind of shocking to me how resentful Uncle Owen is. Yeah. Because considering like an Attack of the Clones, like you would not get that kind of vibe that Uncle Owen that Owen Lars and Beru Lars because they took in Anakin's mother in Attack of the Clones.
And also,
like I wouldn't think that he would care that much about Anakin like he cared about. Like I just didn't understand why he cared that much.
Well, I mean that's
so it's really shocking to see this side.
But I assume because I don't think it's him caring about Anakin as much as it's him caring about Luke.
Caring about Luke, I can see that.
I think, and for also like even though he didn't have that great of a relationship with Anakin, probably he Anakin was still his half brother.
I think so. I'm really rusty on the Owen Lars and Anakin
me
family
too.
relationship.
But he's at least Luke's uncle, which makes him at least. I mean,
that is his half brother. That is his
yeah.
half brother.
I'm pretty sure it's half brother still. I mean, he could have called him uncle even if he was something else, but still. So he's Anakin's half brother probably. So he still has a connection to him, I would assume. In some way. But even if he doesn't, he's still taken in Luke like his own son. He's had him for 10 years at this point. And then Obi-Wan is probably somewhat pushing him on like, okay, he's gonna become this big Jedi, he's gonna do all this great stuff, and it's like, well, is he gonna fight fucking the Empire on his own?
Honestly,
and
as a 10-year-old.
He's like, motherfucker, excuse me, the kid's 10. And it's like, yeah, don't worry, we'll wait another 10 years. And it's like, what the fuck? No,
when he's 19.
Yeah. But so this is the resent here is why I assume this is why Gorm actually brought up this moment. And that is Uncle Owen protecting Obi-Wan, right? Gorm, do you want to, since it's your point, do you kind of want to go in on that?
Yeah, because I mean, it kind of shows that like even though Uncle Owen like has a strong distaste for Obi-Wan, because like he even brings up the fact that he blames him for what happened with Anakin.
Yep.
And like he really hates him, but he doesn't give him up because he knows that it's better for Luke if he's still alive.
Yeah.
Because all he really cares about is protecting Luke, and we see that in the last episode, which we'll talk on a little bit later. But
I'm definitely gonna have to speak on that.
And then I think it also shows that even though he shows resent to Obi-Wan, I don't think he has a distaste for Obi-Wan. I think it's more just him fearing for Luke, because both him and Beru, they both knew what they were doing when they took Luke in Revenge of the Sith. They both knew what they were doing when they took Luke in. They were like, okay, Obi-Wan, I can guarantee that Obi-Wan said, I need him to grow up, and I need him protected. I'm leaving him with you guys, if this is okay, obviously. But at some point, I'm going to have to train him to become a Jedi like Anakin was, and defeat whatever the fuck's coming, because he is the chosen one, even though Anakin was the chosen one. Anyways, I'm dying on that hill. Anakin was the chosen one. Definitely not Rey. I can guarantee you that much.
Preach.
So I think it shows that it's not hatred. It's just I think he's more scared.
It's more
because he knows what is coming, and I don't think he's necessarily against it. But I think he is just scared for, not necessarily for Luke.
I feel like it's more of a misunderstanding or an ignorance towards like who he is.
Could definitely be that. Whether it be ignorance or him being scared, I think there's something deeper than just him not liking Obi-Wan, because he wasn't he didn't even think about giving up Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? Pretty much. So I think that he has anything against him necessarily like that.
Yeah, because if he hated him, then he probably would have given him up and took the bait.
He would have been like, you see that guy over there? The guy that kind of looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yeah, that's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
If you think about it, what would Uncle Owen have to lose if he gave up Obi-Wan? Nothing. Because they would have Obi-Wan, and then Luke would have been safe on Tatooine, and no one would have said. So honestly, Uncle Owen had nothing to lose by giving him up. He honestly would have had everything to gain in preparation for Luke's lifestyle, and Owen knew there was a bounty on him from the Empire.
Yeah.
Uncle Owen knew that there was a bounty on all Jedi.
A huge bounty on Obi-Wan specifically as well.
So that speaks character about Uncle Owen not selling him out.
He's like, fuck the money.
Because they put large bounties on them.
Yeah. And then Obi-Wan had a even bigger one. They would probably be like, for you. They would probably be like, hey, yo, so here's a bit extra. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. We'll take it.
Honestly, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next point, which makes even more sense in terms of the Inquisitors, but I think the Uncle Owen one is a bit more interesting, obviously, in terms of what we just discussed. But you also have the death of this Jedi character that this is I like the way that they introduced the Inquisitors here. Obviously, if you've played Fallen Order or you watched Rebels, then you will be very familiar with the Inquisitors. They were main characters or main protagonists, main fucking villains in season 1 and I believe 2 of Rebels. They might have had, I don't remember if they were anywhere in season 3, but I know for a fact in episode 1 and 2 Grand Inquisitor in season 1, and then in season 2 you had fifth brother and then
fifth brother and seventh sister, I believe it was.
Yeah, in as under
and then
cards essentially, and then you had the ninth brother, I believe.
I really don't remember that brother, but I know that they all got bodied by Maul.
They all got fucking
every one
bodied
of them
by Maul.
Just without him.
Yeah.
I know.
Spoiler if you haven't seen Rebels, by the way.
Fucking haven't seen it in a while, but I know that Ahsoka killed one of them. I can't remember which brother it was.
It was the fucking whatever he is, sixth brother or ninth brother or whatever he is, because she broke his lightsaber.
Sixth or seventh brother or something like that.
Yeah, because she broke his lightsaber. Anyways, let's not tantrum.
Yeah.
Fucking get
tantrum.
Anyways, so but still, you're gonna be familiar with them doing that, or like three of them being main characters in Fallen Order. Great game. Fallen Order 2 coming hopefully like next year. Anyways, so you'll know what they do. You'll know what they do. You'll know who they are. But still, I like this introduction because one of them, I guess was the other sister, because you had Reva, you got the fifth brother, and you got the Grand Inquisitor. Was the other
the fourth sister? She was new. She was a new character.
Yeah, but was she there on Tatooine when they landed? No, I don't think so.
I don't. No. It was Reva, the fifth brother, and the Grand Inquisitor. The other girl was on the. We didn't see her until the third episode.
Right. So they show up, and then obviously.
Oh no, second episode. I'm sorry, second episode.
Right. So they come here. You realize, even if you haven't watched Rebels or played Fallen Order, you realize quickly that, okay, these motherfuckers are Empire, and they probably have lightsabers. And then you realize that very quickly that they have lightsabers when they pull them out. And so I know a lot of people they talk shit on how the Grand Inquisitor looked, but I was like, I don't give a fuck, because I don't remember his name, but the guy who played him
wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
No, not even close. And the guy who played him delivered it killer.
They spared the Obi-Wan show from really having him in a limelight, because he's only seen from the first episode and the last episode. He's nowhere, and he has like a total of a 10-minute screen time.
Yeah, he was in the second episode too.
Was he? Oh yeah, for the first, second, seventh episode and the sixth episode, but he really did not have that much screen time at all.
But I kind of like that, because because he is a main guy in Rebels anyways, and also I think that leaves more room for him in a potential season 2. And also I like the fact that the entire way through, when you kind of grow to, now I love Reva is like a character that you love to hate, which is a great character, by the way, and I love that. But then when you think that in the entire way you think, oh, how are they getting played by her? Like, how is Vader getting played like this? What the fuck is going on? Then you realize the entire way through, it was just a massive fucking plan by the Grand Inquisitor, because he survived. And it was like, oh, fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I like that. And I don't think that he needed that much screen time, because I think that the actor who played him delivered such a great performance just for the time that he was there, that it was kind of like, okay, you know what, fair dues, and him coming back at the end was just fucking great nonetheless. So in my opinion, him not having that much screen time wasn't that much of an issue. But I love the way that he delivered it. I love that fucking what's his name, Han from Fast and Furious comes back as the fifth brother. Gotta say,
Best Inquisitor in the
great.
show by far.
I fucking loved him. I do
Best,
also.
best performance of the Inquisitors.
Now this is no, I don't know if people have been commenting on this, but I actually really like the fact that they picked an Asian actor and gave him an accent. I don't know, but there was something about that I really liked. Now, obviously,
I liked his depiction in this one more than I did his depiction in Rebels.
And I like that his depiction here isn't as dumbfounded as the guy in Rebels. The guy he's a very the guy in Rebels is very much a brute, whilst this guy is he's smarter
at all.
And I like this one a lot more. Even though I love the Rebels one, but I like this one a lot more. I like this more than just like the brute idiot. So they introduced Inquisitors. Then you quickly figure out, okay, what they do. They hunt Jedi. They're Jedi hunters. That's what they are. And so they come to this bar, where they go, okay, so we're looking for a Jedi. Apparently he was here, not too long ago, or that he's a regular or something like that. He protected the bar essentially, or the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, the bar.
Yeah, it's a bar. And so I believe was it Reva who pulls out her lightsaber to.
Yeah, she's the one that gets. She's too brash.
Yeah, and then so motherfucking Jedi, obviously being a Jedi, he can't help himself. So he, what does he? He stops the lightsaber. Is that it?
Well, yeah, he stops the. No, he throws a knife at the at Reva.
That's it.
And Reva stops it, and then he runs away because he knows he's not gonna fight them.
Or
he can't fight them. He runs away.
She threw a knife, and then he stops the knife.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
someone throws a knife. He stops the knife using the Force, and then they all go, there he is. Then motherfucker runs, pulls down this thing outside the.
And escapes.
Yeah, and he fucking bolts away. So
then that's when the interaction comes with Uncle Owen and Obi-Wan, and they're looking for that Jedi. Yeah. Reva's looking for Obi-Wan, so she's got a completely different agenda.
Yeah.
Than the other two Inquisitors.
So you both had this, the death of this Jedi. You both had this on your points. So now, obviously, I think my thoughts on it specifically is that he was literally just there to introduce the Inquisitors and what they actually do, to then forward onto Reva's extra plan on specifically going for Kenobi, which we then figure out more about later, obviously in episode 5, etc. But I think that he was a good. I think it was very good choosing. I think it was a good way to introduce the Inquisitors and what they actually do in terms of, you take, okay, a random Jedi, they are chasing after him. That is why they are there. They're there to get him specifically. Reva obviously on a different agenda, but they're there to get him specifically, which then introduces, okay, these guys, all they do is hunt Jedi. That's it. Someone witnesses a Jedi, does anything involving a Jedi, they are there. I would assume that's the reason, just to introduce the Inquisitors and what they do. Do you guys have any other thoughts on it? Anything that you liked or disliked? I don't know, Gorm, anything specific on the scene? Or what happened with this Jedi specifically?
I think the end scene where, for lack of a better word, where the Jedi gets, like, lynched up in front of, like, as, like, an example.
Yeah.
I think it, like, shows Obi-Wan, like the direness of the situation he's about to throw himself into.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's been on the run hiding for so long, and plus he probably feels a lot more guilty because
He just got him killed.
that's another Jedi that he feels like he failed.
Yeah. Vector, do you
And
have
I
any?
was just about to.
Yeah.
I was just about to get into that. I feel like before that Jedi gets, as Gorn put it, winched up in the town, you see later in the episode or before that he goes to talk to Obi-Wan personally to try to reinvigorate that light into Obi-Wan. But this character, I feel, really shows the downward depression on where Obi-Wan's mind state is and just how broken he is. Like that's like the establishing shot of the whole, or the establishing theme throughout the whole first episode, is that Obi-Wan is a broken man.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see that by his day-to-day routine. And now the Obi-Wan that we all knew in the prequels or the Alec Guinness would have happily taken up with this young Jedi and would have fought beside him with vigor. But this Obi-Wan told him, "You want my advice? Take your lightsaber and bury it in the sand."
Yeah.
Like, think how brutal and just heart-wrenching that is for that Jedi to hear that his master told him to give up on his life's goal and to live like a normal man.
One of the most known, credible, and most powerful Jedi in the universe. Before all this shit went down, you think, okay, you know what? He's gonna help me. He's this huge, great personal that he's gonna help me. I just need to find him first. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna find Obi-Wan Kenobi. He finds Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is 10 years after. Finds Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he goes, "Yeah, fuck off, kid. Just give up." Imagine.
Like meeting your star, and he was good. And after that kid left Obi-Wan depressed, he went to go fight the Inquisitors himself, and then we see the result of that. And then, as Gorm was stating, you can just see the sadness, the pain on his face, because that's just another Jedi that didn't heed his advice that failed and died.
It's like if you want to be. Let me put an example that the Americans can get, not use the rest of the world football. But let's say you're a football fan, right? You're a player, and then you're dealing with an injury. I don't fucking know. And then you meet fucking Tom Brady. And you go, "Listen, Tom Brady, I'm dealing with an injury, but I really fucking love football. I want to keep this going. What can I do? Like, how do I go through the injury? Can I train with the injury?" And he just goes, "Kid, just fucking give up. It's nothing for you anyways." And it's like,
what?
I'm sorry. What? You'd be fucking shocked. It's like your hero is there telling you, give up everything.
Give up.
What you have spent your entire life to this point doing, that even I spent my life doing, and I succeeded at, and you merely didn't get to that, haven't gotten to that point yet. Just fucking give up. I don't care anymore. Give up. That is horrible. And as you said, it just shows how far down Obi-Wan has gotten in these 10 years. Like with
how much of a broken man he is. Like no hope in him at all from Revenge of the Sith after Anakin's death.
What I was assuming before going into this show, I was like,
quote
okay,
unquote.
Like going into this, I was assuming that, okay, yes, it is 10 years after, but he's probably gonna still feel it, and he's gonna be a bit broken. That was what I was expecting. I didn't expect as broken Obi-Wan as he was here. Because
they went all in.
I didn't expect it, but if I'm being completely honest, I think I prefer it. Because in my head, thinking about it and watching the entire show, it makes more sense than him just being a bit broken. Because even though it's 10 years, it kind of shows that some scars, they don't fucking heal. And something like this, when you technically are the one who quote unquote killed your best friend, as he says, his brother, someone that he's known for all this time, when he essentially kills him,
he raised him from a Padawan to a Jedi Knight.
You feel like the reason why he did this and all this bullshit happens is because of you. When you feel that, then okay. I get that 10 years after, you don't have a lot of hope and you're a broken man, pretty much. It makes sense, looking back at it, that even after 10 years, he's still so broken. And I actually prefer that to just him having recovered a little bit. And then, you see also his misery, him working at some sort of meat plant, and he has to steal a bit every time. But he still takes care of his animal. He steals.
He's just putting himself in a
He
routine to hide from the pain.
yeah, he actually risks losing his job every day just to take care of this one animal that he has. Like, there's like a weird balance. There's not. It's like a weird balance in between him having given up, but he also keeps going. Whether that be for Luke, for himself, whether he has hope that, I don't know, maybe Anakin's gonna come back. Whatever it is lying down, there's something that keeps him going and has him in a routine. He risks his job. He still pays attention to Luke, goes over to him, even though Owen doesn't want him close, So
he even had enough credits to buy a toy for little Luke.
Yeah.
How sweet is that?
Which, can I just say, the interaction with the Jawa, I did like. I gotta say, it was a nice little break off from everything else, and I did really enjoy that.
We're kind of tangling a little bit. Let's get on.
Yep, I was about to say, and so that is another point that's a point that you both had, and then the third point and the final point on episode 1 that we're gonna go into, Vector, is Leia being introduced, which, I'm gonna be honest,
yes.
I didn't expect. I expected Luke to be like shown once or twice, but
they sidelined Luke the whole freaking show. Like Leia, Leia's introduction is both a blessing and a curse, in my opinion. Because, but if I was watching, now full disclosure, I was watching the Angry Joe show that they were talking about. Like, they blessed Leia so much, showing her how force sensitive was, how smart she was, how creative she was, just how much better she is in Luke in every comparable way. Because they show Luke in a freaking sand dune while Leia grew up in a rich family home with a senator and all the blessings of an Organa, and Luke is living in the dirt, and just how much better she is. Like, they're really upping their ante with her, which doesn't make sense after you canonize it and go into episode 4, where she doesn't really have any of the traits that she previously has as a child. She forgot it.
I think that goes to Obi-Wan, because obviously this wasn't meant to happen. Obi-Wan wasn't meant to be introduced to Leia yet. This wasn't supposed to happen until long after this, right? So I think that's the thing, is when Obi-Wan said yeah, I'll be back, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, if you need help, if you ever need help from an old man, call me.
Yeah, I think obviously Leia calls Obi-Wan later, but I think that I think that he has a point in not training her or do anything like that, is because there's more in Luke than it is in Leia. Leia might be she might have more. I wish right they would have just got equal. She has more visible ability right now, but I think he knows that Luke is just like Anakin. Leia doesn't have that. Luke is just like Anakin, whilst Leia has a bit. She's got a few abilities here and there, and I like that. Okay, now she's young. What is she now? 10, 12?
Yeah, they're the same age. They're the exact same age.
Yeah. Why am I saying 10, 12? Yeah, of course she's fucking 10. I'm an idiot. So she's 10. So I think she's now 10. So then in 10 years, she's not gonna remember the fact that anything that has anything to do with force ability. So I think that's kind of the point with Obi-Wan as well, is that he's not going to see her anymore, because he doesn't want her to even catch on to the fact that
she'll go into the degree of being a senator like her father and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that.
There's definitely something else there to her not having this shit in episode 4. And I think it makes sense when you delve a bit deeper into it, even though this hasn't, what I'm saying, hasn't been. It is a bit of a reach, but I think it also makes sense in terms of finding a solution to it, is that She
if
has
you
no
want to find
clue.
a solution to it, that would be.
Yeah, and she has no clue that she's force sensitive. From what I gather from the show, she has no clue. And
Uh,
and Obi-Wan clearly doesn't want to leave that on because that would probably fuck up. He would be
I
like,
mean, he's already got one kid to train. He doesn't have time to train two.
he's like, God fucking it. I've got to fly from planet to planet each fucking day just to check on these kids and see how they're doing and that they're not killing someone with their fucking force abilities.
I mean, he did swear an oath that he would look after the boy. Like he specifically
Yeah.
wanted to train after Luke.
Like this is
Like
why
that was his whole life's goal after Episode 3. That's what he said.
It's why he gave Leia to the
Organa.
to the Organa family,
To Bail Organa.
to Bail, because he's like, Bail, I know that you can take care.
Can't do them both.
I know that you can take care of her. She can be just like her mother. You were great friends with her mother.
Dude, honestly,
this is the way to do this. And then
I'll tangent this one time on Leia. That scene in the third episode where he's like, "You're just like your mother." That shit hurt my feelings.
It hurt my soul.
That shit hurt my fucking feelings. Because oh my god, saying how she's just like Padme.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it hurts. That's like the only time I'm going to tangent on that. But I had to say that scene. Do you know my real mother? Well, I wish I knew.
No, but bro.
Like, are you my real father?
Yeah, and it's like I wish when he says like I wish I was, it was like, hey yo, did he have a thing for?
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
No, he didn't.
No, of course he didn't, but it was a bit of a funny comment.
Jokes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Leia's
I
introduction.
just like the Leia appreciation.
Yeah, Gorm, do you have anything special on the Leia introduction? Gorm. Cut to commercial. No,
I have my mic. I had to mute my mic. I had to go do something real quick, and I didn't want. All right.
Fucking Gorm.
I mean, I thought Leia was like really well portrayed as like who Leia would have been when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I think the relationship between her and Obi-Wan was definitely a real like good point of the show.
Yeah.
I just wish that the relationship wasn't like Mandalorian-ish in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of like the old man and the young person get together and do stuff.
Yeah. Okay. But okay, so Leia, it wasn't unexpected. It was like a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. At the end, at least. Okay.
I wanted to find different than Gorm did, to be honest.
Okay. Let's hop on episode 2. I think we would discuss anything that actually happens in episode 1. So episode 2. Now this starts off with Gorm's first point is the end of the episode actually. Now this episode is, I mean, I would say it's the weakest episode out of all of them. I think we probably
by far the weakest episode.
By far. But it did end on an interesting note. I would say
it did, but like it was just really
and I think
boring.
We're gonna start this as high as possible. So Gorm's first point here is then obviously, the death of the Grand Inquisitor, or call it here, fake death. We're not gonna get into why that is yet. But the death of the Grand Inquisitor. So, now I fell straight at it. He's not dead. He's got 2 stomachs. So Gorham, this being your point, what were your thoughts straight away on this?
So can I talk about the fake part or just the death in general?
Talk about the death in general, then we get to the fake part when we get to episode 5.
Damn it!
Don't worry about it.
Because like a lot of my reaction was the fact that I knew it wasn't real.
Yeah, I mean, like, me as well. Like, I was like straight away. I was like, okay, yeah, he's not.
I think
dead.
Everybody knew that who saw Rebels.
Everyone knew that he wasn't dead, but I don't think that anyone was like, yeah, he's faking it for a massive coup with Vader later.
You had because what I saw online was that you had half people going like it was split. You have like a third of the people going, "Wow, he's not actually dead. He'll come back." You have another third of the people going, "Oh my God, Grand Inquisitor's dead. This breaks canon. What are they gonna do?" And then you have another third who's never watched Star Wars Rebels and doesn't know who this man is and think he was genuinely killed.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that is how it was drawn. But anyone who has ever seen Rebels already knew what was up. They already knew what was gonna happen. The motivation probably didn't guess it, but I knew for certain that he was not dead.
Yeah,
I kind of just I really rolled my eyes in the back of my skull when Reva killed him like that. I was like, "Oh my, are you kidding me?
fair.
We're gonna do this? Okay,
Yeah.
whatever."
So we all knew. I mean, there's not much else to say. We all knew that he was coming back, but we just didn't know how. And I did like the way that they brought him back, though. I did like that.
I can admit I did like that.
But we're gonna get back
But
to
the
that on
fact that
episode
they
5.
killed him, I'll come back to that whenever we get to the last episode, because there's some parallels between that I'll draw into.
Yeah, but okay. So we all agree that we all knew that he wasn't dead. Not just because we'd watched Rebels, but like he wasn't dead.
Because we just kind of knew the writing was kind of all over the wall that he was going to come back.
Yeah. Okay, and then for a weaker part, Gorham, which is just called, and I completely agree, the dumbass parkour scene, which is motherfuckers chasing Obi-Wan and Leia on a rooftop. So fucking bounty hunters chasing Obi-Wan and Leia on a rooftop, jumping as if they're Ninja Turtles or fucking Lego Ninjago, and fucking, I say fucking a lot right now, and like when some of the jump shots as well were very Ninja Turtles-esque when they like film from the bottom and you see them jump over. That is so Ninja Turtles that I thought I was watching the wrong fucking series.
Yeah, that whole scene with Reva doing parkour, like I had to fast forward halfway through. I'm like, what is this?
And like she was doing a lot of like unnecessary moves as well. It was
Like
it was kind of like that
like,
the fight scene in Last Jedi in the Red Room, doing like unnecessary shit just to do the unnecessary shit. If you know what I mean.
yeah.
Alright,
Because
so
like I think like I don't know I don't even know what the point of it was. Like was it to like make Reva look cool?
well,
Because they wanted to build,
that doesn't
they
make
wanted
any
to like
sense. That really doesn't make any
like
sense. I just looked up the budget for it. Each one of these episodes cost $25 million in range. They spent, what the fuck were they spending $25 million on for Reva to be moving like she's from 1980s Ninja Turtles
that
3? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
that parkour budget could have been used
was
to make
horrible.
the Anakin de-aging better, but I rest my case on that. Like,
yeah, that money could have been
that
saved.
scene was completely unnecessary and served
They could have
no
cut
point.
that whole scene out
Because
Yeah,
and
no.
the
oh
only
my god.
There
was
was
only,
one positive.
there's only
It was one positive, and that was Obi-Wan
Yeah.
saving Leia. That was the only
That is
thing.
yeah,
But
and using the
yeah,
and that was
using
the
the Force.
first time he used the
First time.
Force
That
in
was
over
like a-
10 years.
So
like a
the
semi-
entire
moment.
bullshit scene led up to something that was actually kind of decent, but then also like the entire fall
Yeah.
and all that bullshit.
Like
on
she
its
looked
own.
like a discounted Assassin's Creed character,
Yeah,
freaking walking across that rooftop
but
like
then
that.
but then what led to him having to save Leia was Leia being a fucking idiot, thinking that she could jump
Yeah,
7 feet.
that scene I hated worse. Her being like, "Oh my god, my dad clearly sent you to save me, so now I'm definitely gonna distrust you for no reason at all,
Yeah.
and almost get myself killed." Like
Like
Leia, how do you go from being an intelligent girl to having one of the
No, but
stupidest moments in
Le-
the whole show?
Leia was
Like,
a
come
brat.
on.
Leia was a brat the first 2 episodes, and
Dude,
then
she was
she gets
dude.
better and better and better.
I liked her
But
in
still.
1, but I disliked her. I did not like her
I-
at all in 2.
I was
She was
I was iffy in
unfathomable
1.
in 2.
Yeah, I was a bit iffy in episode 1, but still not as bad as episode 2. But episode 2 was
That
a
was her
shambles.
worst.
Yeah. Maybe this is
2 made me upset.
maybe this is why they were like, yeah, we'll release episode 1 and 2 at the same time. Is because like, well, they get one good, and then they don't just have one day with episode 2 where they go, is this where the show is
Yeah,
going?
because if they had
Okay,
released
fuck
that,
this show.
if that had been a weekly thing and people looked up like, are you serious? This is the follow up after a week. I'm gonna get this horse crap. Nah, they'd
Yeah.
have been pissed. At least they got it out of the way hurry because they knew it was not good.
Yeah, and then episode 3 gets better. Okay, so
I'd say between 3 and 6 are the best episodes.
oh, for sure. Okay. So bullshit fucking parkour scene. Out of the fucking way. We don't want to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, no more parkour.
And then
No more Assassin's Creed Odyssey parkour. No more.
And then we're going back up. I guess we're also going down because he's just sad. It is a big sad. And that is Vector's 2 points on episode 2 are shorter. We're gonna start with your point on Anakin, Vector. Anakin being alive.
Yeah, so I don't know about you guys, but when I heard Reva utter out of her mouth the word that Anakin is alive, I dropped my mouth because I was so pissed off. Like in canon and in Legends, anybody who utters the name Anakin Skywalker in the Empire or
Gets
even
fucked.
thinks that,
Yeah.
bodied immediately, no hesitation.
Yeah.
Vader has killed people for less, for just annoying him on some days. But the fact that you know his deepest, darkest secret, and he hasn't bodied you into oblivion yet, no, I
But-
cannot
See,
look at that.
I was pissed, but then we're not gonna go too
I mean,
deep
but
into
it
this later.
also
But
kind of worked out for Obi-Wan's favor because he's like,
yeah.
Anakin's alive.
But I
mean,
think
like-
they saved
Oh,
her.
that-
But her saying the name, they saved that by giving the reason as to why.
But the fact is that they didn't have to do that.
No,
That scene would have been saved if they hadn't mentioned that at all. And then he fights him in 3 and figures it out then. He could have figured it out then.
But
Yeah.
but I mean, if
Yeah,
they didn't,
none
if,
of that
if
needed
they,
to be said because that breaks canon so much.
But no, but it
Like-
doesn't break canon because he clearly doesn't know yet.
Not canon, but it breaks lore.
But, and
it
also,
breaks Vader
it-
lore.
but it also doesn't because this goes into his entire plan of fucking her over whenever he then finds out.
Well, yeah,
that
at the
so
yeah,
he doesn't know that she knows.
When you're at that point, it feels like it's breaking lore, but then it recaps it at 6.
Yeah.
But at that moment in time when you're watching it, you're like, "What the actual fuck is this nonsense?"
But then again, like
Yeah,
there are probably people that have said that Vader's Anakin without him even knowing because he doesn't know every single person that utters the words. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I can't say for everybody, but for one of his inquisitors that he's there with all the time to train because he personally trains them, that I can't see. Maybe if it's some offhand
Yeah.
officer or whatever, or a lonely stormtrooper, okay, I could feasibly pass that because there's no way Vader can know every stormtrooper. But an inquisitor that he has to train all the time, personally himself, and the Grand Inquisitor all the time, no.
But she
No.
she probably hasn't said it before now, I would assume. But anyways, Gorm, any thoughts on this?
So I want to agree with Vector saying like they didn't need to do the Anakin reveal at the end of episode 2 because all right, so imagine this scenario. We're in episode 3 and nothing has changed except instead of thinking he's still obviously, like afraid of Vader because, he's fucking Vader. And when he goes off to be like, hey, I'm going to hold him off. I'll hold him back as long as I can. He just thinks he's fighting a fucking powerhouse. All right? And they start going at it. Obi-Wan is holding his own for a little bit. And then the reveal comes when he goes...
And the Force connection breaks in.
And then, his mind gets all fucked up because, all of this trauma is running through him. And then Obi-Wan gets bodied like he did at the end of episode 3.
I do still think that it makes sense how shit Obi-Wan did and why he just ran was because he didn't want to fucking fight Anakin.
Oh, I wouldn't want to fight Vader like that.
No, but also because
ran.
but knowing it was Anakin as well, I would say probably made it.
I mean,
worse
it was
for him.
like Cal Kestis at the end of Fallen Order. You're not gonna fight that.
I mean, Cal Kestis
No,
held
all
his
you
own a
can
lot
do is
better.
run.
Cal held his own a lot better.
I mean,
than
but I
Mike.
can feel it. Like no.
But
no, you just gotta run.
Either way. Okay, so it was bullshit, but they saved it by giving us a better reason than just her knowing, I would say.
Well, a somewhat plausible reason. But
still,
that's why I was saying, like, in that point in time when the episodes didn't come out yet, and that's all we had to go on, I was fuming. I was like, what the fuck is this nonsense?
All right.
Because I am a Vader. I love Vader so much, and I've spent too much time researching him, and to hear that nonsense come out, I was like, what the fuck?
All right. Now, speaking of Vader, or speaking of Anakin, there's another thing we see in this episode, which I did actually like. One of the very few redeeming qualities of this episode, which I liked. I mean, it was sad, but I did also kind of like it. And that was a homeless 501st clone trooper.
Yes.
Now,
that...
Vector,
dude, that
do you have anything specific? I know there's a lot of theories that have gone around. Just this one guy. So Vector,
yeah, just this one clone has like
this one
so
clone.
many theories about who it is. It could be.
Did he recognize Obi-Wan?
Appa got bodied.
Yeah. Did he recognize Obi-Wan? Did Obi-Wan? Yeah. What did Obi-Wan think when he saw him? Like yeah. So Vector, anything like it's a short point, but do you have anything very specific on it?
Yeah, the fact is that when you just look at whenever Obi-Wan just looks at this clone, he is envisioning, or what I feel like he's envisioning all the times, because he's probably directly associating that 501st member with Anakin's clones, because those were Anakin's clones, were the 501st. So it's just another fallen memory about how much the Jedi failed, and that clone probably killed some of his friends.
Yeah.
But the real sad thing about it is the clones were the victims. The clones were the victims. They had no control over it.
But then
now they're homeless on the streets, and the Empire just deserted them. Like, that is some sad shit right there. That really hurt.
The Empire just goes, fuck clones. We don't want them anymore. Dumping them on the fucking street. Like, it is like, if anything, it's also heartbreaking.
It is. Because that could have been any of the clone. That could have been any of the clones that we saw from any of the episodes. Like, they could have named any one of those clones, and we have no idea who it is.
Mm-hmm. And I think that, like, if you didn't just watch episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all that. If you also have watched the
Clone Wars, go straight through movies, you won't really care as much.
No. I'm thinking, like, if you haven't watched the Clone Wars and don't know about the inhibitor chips, people like that would probably just go, "What the fuck? I don't give a fuck about you. You fucking killed the Jedi. What the fuck? What's your problem?"
Yeah.
But since you've seen Clone Wars and you know what the thing is,
it hits different.
That's when it hits different. Like, if someone watches, if the inhibitor chip, if you don't, let's say you only watch season 7 of the Clone Wars and Ahsoka didn't remove like Rex's chip, so that wasn't a thing in that episode, so you don't even know this. Maybe Rex had removed it prior to this, so you don't even know. Then people wouldn't have felt sorry for Jesse and all that. People wouldn't have cried during that final scene. Spoiler alert for Clone Wars, but if you haven't watched it and then you deserve this. Like, you wouldn't have felt bad for all the clones. When you see all the helmets, you wouldn't have cried. But I cried because I know that it wasn't any of their choice.
It was not their fault.
And also Jesse is been there since day one. But that's, again, not the point. But, like, so I think that it depends on where you stand. If you're a pure movie buff, you only watch the movies, maybe the new shows, but not Clone Wars, then I can understand you being, fuck you. I don't care. I'm happier on the street. But if you watch the Clone Wars, if you almost or even did tear up, I get it. It makes sense. Because it was heartbreaking for those who actually know the thing about the clones. And I do enjoy that they did bring back Tamora Morrison, just gave him a beard and some hair, and then was like, "Yep, there you go." I did like that. That was
Hot
good.
topic. He probably just Tamora Morrison wandered on set after Boba Fett,
Yeah, man.
and they put him.
No, that was it. They weren't. The guy wasn't even in the script, but Tamora was like, "What's she
He
doing over
has
here?"
no idea.
He-
He was
he-
just trying on
he-
armor.
he was-
Morrison got blitzed that day. Got belligerent.
No,
And I said,
he just
"You know what?
wanders
We
on
got
the
him.
set. Like they're
Put him
shooting.
right there."
They're shooting Boba Fett right next to in the same building, and he just like he's got on a break, so he walks over like, "What are you guys shooting over here?" "Oh, we're working on Kenobi." It was like, "Oh, you got 501st Armors over there." "Yeah, we were doing."
Oh, I
we-
remember
we-
that.
we-
I remember
we-
being in that.
It's like, yeah, we're doing a scene with it. We're doing a Order 66 scene. He's like, "Well, give it to me. I'm being
my
this
armor.
serious. It's my armor. I own this. Put me in a scene." And they were like, "What the
Mine.
fuck? What the fuck do we do?" And it was like, "I don't know. Where are you at? We're on
We
this
got
planet. We're on this planet. It's like this and this. All right, make me a homeless stormtrooper, clone trooper. Fuck it, let's do it." It's obviously it didn't do this. This is a massive stretch, but it would have been hilarious, and it's definitely something I can see him doing in some more sense, being like, "Hey, yo, put me in here as a homeless stormtrooper, no clone trooper." Why did I say stormtrooper? Probably because it's Empire times. Anyways,
Yes, and stormtroopers are dicks in this one. They've
Yeah,
always been dicks.
but they're kind of always dicks for the most part. Like,
I
one of the-
mean,
fucking
yeah.
yeah, the one stormtrooper once punched like Grogu, so you know it's not great. But okay, so now
Tangent.
we spoke about the bad, we've spoken about the good in episode 2. At least the calling anything good in that episode is a stretch, but either way, right? We also did get introduced to whatever she is, the third, no, well, like the 7th sister or whatever she is, the other woman.
Yeah, third sister.
For third sister, that's it. We
Yeah.
did get introduced to her, which I did like that they brought
No,
another.
Rev is the third sister, and that girl's the fourth sister, I think.
Something like that. I hate the
Yeah, 'cause
Inquisitor.
Rev-
I hate the Inquisitor numbers, dude. I hate it. I don't know any of them. I know the Grand Inquisitor, I know the 5th brother, and I know like one more, and that's about it. I know second sister. Those are the ones I know.
And the ninth sister was the other one.
Yeah, and then you got the Night Sisters, which is something completely different again. So you know.
And then all those ones we know, but then I don't know the other one.
Yeah, it's like Jesus. There's too many numbers. But okay. Episode 3.
So really, there should be about 20 numbers.
Yeah. And there's so many different ones in the fucking comic books as well that we don't even need to get into the fucking Inquisitors is just a full
20 guys,
full
20
episode
guys,
on all by itself, just a full episode about Inquisitors one day, hopefully. When season 3
Yeah, we
comes
probably
out.
should.
Yeah, probably. Let's just not talk about the 10th brother. Okay, anyways.
No.
So let's go hop over to episode 3.
Oh my god.
Now, we're gonna try and get the points a bit quicker out. So, Gorm, you got. I mean, these two kind of lead off of each other, so I guess we could just go on both of them and take them in one long stretch. And so first, it's essentially Vader doing a pretty fucked up thing. With a bit of a neck snap to a certain person. You can go a bit deeper into who it is and why it's fucked up. And then Obi-Wan essentially getting fucking bodied by Vader. So Gorm, just go ahead and just tell from neck snap to getting fucking ass handed.
Yeah, so I was not expecting Vader to snap a child's neck.
Nope.
That was
Didn't expect that. That
like with how Disney is, like
I didn't think they had the balls
like-
to do it.
like he just goes like the kid wasn't like he didn't even fuck around. He just found out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Like he was like checking on his mom who got force pushed. He's like, "Mom, are you okay?" And then he gets his fucking neck
Yeah.
snapped. Like
But
I did not think Disney would have the balls.
I didn't
to
either.
put that.
But I like that they're so true to the character, because this is 10 years in. This
They're
is
true
thi-
One
this is
moment
this
and
is
then
him
not.
at this Vader at his probably most brutal. 10 years in.
They they've said that this is prime time full power Vader.
Yeah, and
They
so
explicitly said that in an interview.
the thing is, it's not out of character at all for him. Like, I'm surprised that Disney did it, but I'm kind of happy that they actually stuck true to the character. It's kind of like Rogue One, where it's like, well, that Disney did that final scene, which is favorite Star Wars scene ever, by the way, live action. Like, the brutality that Disney have shown that they actually give a fuck about showing with Vader. I like how they're committing to the character like this and not sugarcoating it and being like, nah, he wouldn't snap it. He would easily snap a neck just like that, bro. You know what I mean? So I like that they stayed true to the character. It's like a surprise to be sure, but in a fucked up way, a welcome one. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucked up that I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, I like that they snapped a kid's neck.
I am glad I got to witness Vader snap a child's neck.
Yeah. Like, it's obviously a fucked up thing to say, but it's like, as a Vader fan, or like just a Star Wars fan in general, the fact that they stuck true to this character is a positive thing. It's because if not, it would have been like as if they made, the TV show The Boys just came out with a new season. It's as if they just made The Boys and they just didn't make it bloody and gory and all that. It was like Happy Holidays. It was like the Avengers, in a sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not true to the characters. So I like that they have stayed true to the character of Vader, and especially in a Kenobi series, set in the time that it is. If they hadn't have done it, I would have been more pissed off than with anywhere else.
Yeah, I figured he would kill some random ass person, but not a kid though.
Yeah, but Vader's Vader.
Yep. And then later on, he fucks up Obi-Wan pretty good there.
He finds Obi-Wan and just goes, you know what?
Bro, that shit was scary for me. He's like fucking running around.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, where's he at? And you just hear you just see the red light, and you're like, oh shit.
It's kind of like
breathing.
It's like the Rogue One scene where it's almost like you're watching a horror movie, just watching a slaughter, but instead of seeing but this is like after. This is like in the horror movie where like the killer has like killed a bunch of people at the party already, and there's just one person, the main target, they're just chasing them, but they're playing with them. That is how I feel about this. It's like Vader, like they've turned him into, and rightfully so, in terms of being true to the character. He's a horror character. He's a monster. In Rogue One, that's terrifying to watch. Him just slaughter these rebels, no fucking chance. And then here, he's playing with Obi-Wan. It's clear. Like, when people went like, oh, why isn't Vader doing more? Like, oh, he should have done. I'm like, it's clear. He's put on the Debadela perk. He's put on the perk, play with your food, and he is playing with Obi-Wan. He's fucking with Obi-Wan. And I love that. It's fucked up, but I love it in terms of it's true.
Would do, in a sense.
Yeah. Like, it's not the first time Vader decides, you know what, I'm going to fuck with this a bit. I'm going to kind of milk the moment. Not to this extent, but it's also Obi-Wan as well. So I think he just wants Obi-Wan to suffer. So, like, Obi-Wan is running scared shitless. I mean, can you imagine if you checked his pulse? His pulse would have been his phone number, you know what I mean? So, I say phone number, it's Star Wars. And you get my point. Like,
I mean, but he has done this before in his book, Rise of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He actively goes to Kashyyyk to mess with 6 Jedi in a row, all at the same time, and bodies all of them, and he doesn't break a sweat. Like, he is just he's playing with them. So this is very in line with kind of Vader's personality and how he sees the Jedi, because he sees them as beneath him. He sees them as like little rats in the corridor for him to snuff out and destroy. But except for him, when it comes to like Yoda or Obi-Wan, they're just the bigger rats for him to play with. Everyone else is small toy.
And it also makes sense in him he wants to show Obi-Wan how powerful he's still,
like, he broke through his force wall with no hesitation.
It's like he shows Obi-Wan how powerful he still is. It's like, you cut off my arm, you cut off both my legs. I'm still
I'm
this
still
powerful.
way better.
Mm-hmm. So
They've said
it
it
was
that
true to the character. I think.
Darth Vader's power level is 80%. 80% of Emperor Palpatine's.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably
80%, even though he lost 20% of his force mass due to the lava pit.
yeah,
I mean, granted,
and
it's still
also
a good chunk,
the
but
thing
it's
is,
still 80% better than everybody else around him.
and that 20% is also different to the 20% that he's actually missing to the Emperor. So imagine how powerful he would have been if he was still Anakin fully.
Exactly.
He would have
He'd
bodied
have
the
been like
Emperor.
120%.
The Emperor would have been bodied by Anakin, which I mean, he ends up killing the Emperor
Everyone knows
nonetheless.
that.
Yeah, everyone knows that. But okay, so Goran, what do you think? Like, me and Vector both agree that it is true to the character and makes sense. So what do you think? Like, it was obviously a horror sequence, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was like really scary because like, and obviously like with the breathing, because Vader is a freaking menace, and like
Yeah.
it like it's established that Vader is feared by everybody, and like in that scene, you feel the fear, like you're like, damn, this motherfucker's scary.
Yeah.
And then obviously when they actually start fighting, the skill gap between them is made very apparent.
Mm-hmm.
Very clear.
It's like
And then
Vader doesn't even have to. He doesn't have to
It's
do
like fighting
anything.
boss.
Yeah, like Vader
then
doesn't give a fuck.
the poetic irony of Vader dragging Obi-Wan through the fire and watching him burn.
Yeah.
He-
Like that was the part where I was like,
that irony.
that was when I was like,
Like-
playing with him, bro. He wants him. He's not just playing with him. The
Bro,
part
oh,
of
he's
playing
about
with
to
him is he just wants Obi-Wan to suffer. That's why he's playing with him. Is because he wants
he-
Obi-Wan to just have the worst time of his life.
like he had him
Who
in
are
the
you?
air and could have killed him,
Yeah.
but he chose to watch him suffer the way that he made him.
Yeah. And he let
The
him
which all-
go.
yeah.
poetry
He,
behind it.
he let him go just so that Obi-Wan could be
Just so he could mess with him again.
yes, just so that he messes with him without even have to do anything, because Obi-Wan, for one, he's scared. Two, he knows that Anakin is alive, and also he knows he knows partly what Anakin has become. So he's like, I don't need to do anything now. I'm fucking with him every single second now without doing anything.
He's like, I live in this man's mind rent free.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He knows.
I mean, he doesn't want to kill Obi-Wan too fast, because Obi-Wan is the prime target. He's the prime priority for Vader's revenge at this time.
Yeah.
This is all Vader fixates on is Yoda, but mainly Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So the fact that he gets Obi-Wan by himself on this little planet, and he's nothing like the Obi-Wan that he's used to.
Mhm.
Oh, he's about to have a field day with you.
Yeah.
It's too much to end it too fast. Oh, he's about to make you suffer for sure.
And then we see clearly later in the later episodes that it does have an effect on Obi-Wan, which is genius by fucking Vader just breaking him without doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm. But that was insane. That was insane. Okay. Now, Vector, your point was also on the Darth Vader fight, obviously. That was one of your points. But then the second point, which we can now delve into, which is also very interesting, and we discussed a bit before the podcast what we thought what I personally thought it should have been, or would have been cool if it was, and that is the Quinlan Vos confirmation.
Yes.
And then
This made my skin crawl.
and then
Hearing that Quinlan Vos made it out alive.
but I mean, now I have read comics, so I did.
We have read Dark.
I did know this, and he Quinlan Vos kind of becomes like
He becomes a Dark Jedi for a time.
he becomes
And
a Dark
for those
Jedi.
who don't know, he fell in love with Asajj Ventress, and they had like their little love story.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really. I'm not sure where that book really falls into because I haven't read it. But I do know that Asajj Ventress dies at the end of that book.
Yeah.
And I thought Quinlan Voss died at the end of that book too, but apparently not, and that he has lived on to lead other Jedi
Yeah.
out of it. So that made me real excited. The fact that
And
Quinlan Voss made it out,
I
because he
also
has the same powers as what's his name, as Cal Kestis.
yeah. And I love Obi-Wan's reaction to it as well. Cause Quinlan Voss and him, like, they had this funny relationship throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars, both in the TV show and in the comics. And so I like that Obi-Wan was kind of like, Quinlan was here, and he sounds like he's happy, you know. Like, even though they've had their ups and downs like anyone, it's like it's very much a buddy relationship where it's like, yeah, fuck you, but I do love you. You're a great guy, and I love hanging out with you in a sense. You know what I mean? And I like that Obi-Wan was so happy to see that Quinlan actually made it out. One of the people that he knew the most made it out. Even with the Rocky relationship and, questioning his some of his doings. But I did really like that. I don't know, Gorm, do you have any final things on that? Because it's a very short thing to talk about, but do you have anything on it?
No, no, I don't really have anything to say about it. You guys pretty much said everything.
Fair dues. And then, quick thing that we can also get into quickly, Vector, and that is the Anakin and Obi-Wan flashback.
Oh my god, yes. So
So
this is
yeah,
probably one of the best parts of the whole show. Just seeing for the first time, well, yeah, for the first time since Revenge of the Sith, a live action Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, reprising his role and seeing the battle between where it switches from him pre Attack of the Clone where they're training,
yeah,
and it's showing Anakin's psychology on how he views a fight. His
yeah,
whole thing is to fight to win. While that's not the Jedi philosophy, is not to fight to win, but to fight to save others. So this is what Obi-Wan is trying to teach him in this moment, is that you're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be enjoying this fight, Anakin. And you can see where Anakin really doesn't care about that. Like, that's just in his nature.
yeah,
And that shows how Anakin is going to lose.
yeah,
Because even though Anakin is a far more powerful opponent, he's the chosen one, and he has all these crazy buffs and shit.
yeah,
But Obi-Wan is going to outsmart him by using his pride against him,
yeah,
and that's what happens. He tricks Anakin in that fight, and he snatches the lightsaber out of him by calling him too brash and too headstrong.
yeah,
And these are the dark side qualities that you see in Anakin that causes his downfall later whenever he becomes Vader. So it's just this beautiful poetic fight between the past and the present, and I
yeah.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I fucking love that. The fact that they, I mean, you again, like, you can say what you want about the CGI. Could have done a better job, I guess, but in my eyes, then it would also look less realistic, probably.
Just kind of happy to
Yeah.
be honest.
Um, all of a sudden, I was questioning if this fucking scene was even in episode 3. But last time I checked, I'm pretty sure it is. But either way, I still love that scene. Again, I didn't really give a fuck about the CGI, that it was a bit iffy. There was a few wrinkles here and there, but there's only so much it can do and actually make it still look good. In my eyes, that is. So I love that. I don't know, Gorham. I know that you have your thoughts on the CGI, but anything else on it?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that they cut back and forth through the flashback throughout the entire episode, kind of lining it up with the episode and how certain things were going on. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because when Vader was winning, Anakin was winning the fight. But when Obi-Wan was winning the fast fight. So it was just kind of like that balance in the power and what was happening.
Yeah.
All right. Anything more to say on it, Victor?
No, I said my piece.
Brilliant. So then we're moving on to episode 4. And then we're gonna start with one of Gorm's points on this one. And okay, so now Gorm's first point on this is lack of development of the rebels that we obviously see in the episode. So Gorm, what are your thoughts on that one?
So I think like they should have spent more time in like in that rebel base before they went to the thing. Like it was like, okay, Obi-Wan's awake. Hey, what's up, Obi-Wan? Hey, can you get us to the thing? Yeah, and then here's the map to the thing. All right, let's go to the thing. Like they didn't really spend a lot of time making us care about, because like at the end of the episode, like one of the ships gets shot down, and I forget what his name is, but we'll call him Jim. And the person goes, "No, Jim died." And then the one main guy goes, "Where's Jim?" And then she's like all sad as shit. Is like, and meanwhile I'm thinking, who the hell was that guy? Like, was I supposed to care about him?
Yeah.
Because like by the time we had gotten to that point, I had pretty much forgotten about everybody who was in that initial scene because they barely spent any time on it. So this guy's emotional death meant nothing.
Yeah, I did kind of feel like it was, but I guess I don't know. If I were to try and dig after something, I would assume that they were trying to play on like they were trying. But no, I feel like it was to try and be like, okay, well, so the thing is about this rebel group is they have like known each other for a long time, so these are really tight. So because he died, she's gonna be very sad now. I feel like that was kind of the point, and then maybe yes, guilt trip Obi-Wan a bit might also be make sense. But I do feel like it was more like,
yeah, I mean,
yeah, these people they know each other for long.
Because also this episode was the shortest. It was only like I think 37 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like 38 or 37, like that.
Minus like the 6 minutes of credits, it was only about a half hour of actual like show.
Yeah.
So I feel like they definitely could have added an extra 5, maybe 10 minutes of runtime at that rebel base, at least trying to expand that a little more.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because up to that point, the only 2 characters we knew any good information on was, I think her name was Tala. Was that her name? The officer double agent Tala and the droid. I cared more about the voiceless brute droid than I cared about the guy that died at the episode of episode 4. And the droid never said shit.
But we like the droid.
Yeah, we like the droid. Because they actually fleshed, because they didn't have to flesh out the droid. They just like focused on him enough to where dude was ready to beat the shit out of some stormtroopers with the hammer. He was reaching back there and he was about to grab it. He didn't even need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
He was ready to throw some hands. Him, I loved those, and then maybe the main guy. I forget what his name is. I don't remember a lot of the names. I couldn't even remember Tala's name.
You mean like the mechanic guy?
Yeah, the mechanic guy. Yeah. We'll just call him mechanic, I guess.
Mechanic. What was it? Wasn't it sorry, Roken?
Yeah, Roken. That's his name.
Roken. That's his name. Yeah,
Roken. Broken, but without the B.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like Roken, we did learn a little bit about because him and Obi-Wan had that one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
But that was it.
You don't learn anything else about it.
But
they spent a lot of time on Tala where it was like, oh yeah, I do this. Here's a secret network. Like they spent a lot of time focusing on Tala, and then we know nothing about Roken or any of these other characters.
But
and then there's this super emotional death that happens, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't really care.
Roken was fleshed out enough, I feel like, for being someone that we're not going to focus on too much anyways, but who actually seems like at the end of this series, he seemed like an interesting character in my eyes, somewhat interesting at least. But I think like they fleshed him out enough for just being a small part of this episode, and then obviously, with the infiltration of Fortress Inquisitors, I feel like it does make sense that Tala was the one focused on the most, considering her role in this and her being the infiltrator and all that shit, fucking playing the Inquisitors for a fucking joke as well. So I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the lack of development for anyone else, like the pilot thing, obviously we can talk about being dumb. And I found out the guy who died, his name was Wade.
Wade.
Yeah, Wade.
Wade.
That's his name.
Wade,
Yeah,
yeah.
fucking Wade.
So, but
Good
yeah,
old Wade.
good old fucking Wade. Yeah, that's my boy. If his name was Wedge, then that would have been something
yeah.
else. But his name is Wade, and no one really cares.
His name was fucking Wade. See, now I definitely don't care that he died because his name was Wade.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a point to just
Like-
not. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'll go like on a little tangent with this one. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that in the Fortress Inquisitorius, like there was like no airspace like at all. Like, how the fuck did the Alliance just run in there like that? Like, no TIE fighter. I haven't seen a single TIE fighter in the whole fucking show. Not one TIE fighter. Like, they do not exist.
But I mean, like
I do not understand that.
I don't
Yeah,
think
but
they don't give a fuck
they
on
like-
Fortress Inquisitors because they got Inquisitors. So it's like, who gives a fuck?
That's still stupid. Like, they can't fly. So, like,
No,
where are the TIE
they
fighters?
they can, but they don't give a fuck. They only have transports. I don't.
That
It is stupid, but I do kind of feel like that is nitpicking. It's like, well, I didn't
Yeah,
see
and then-
one,
but
so that's
then-
bullshit.
They kind of touched on it a little bit where he goes, why isn't there a fortress? And they go, well, because nobody would be stupid enough to attack it. So, like,
Yeah.
I guess you can say that's why they didn't have
And-
any
and
TIE
also-
fighters, because, like, who would be crazy enough to attack the Inquisitor's main fortress?
And
That's
also
still like
actually,
lazy writing.
but no. But also the fact
Yeah.
that in fucking comics as well, this place is so heavily generally fortified and also so secret that having a bunch of TIE fighters screaming around it doesn't really help the fact that it's not well known. And also
Like, no interceptors, no stealth bombers. Like, just not even a single aircraft.
They probably
Yeah,
have.
you know
and they
what,
probably
just like-
no, but they probably
just-
have it. They just don't have it on patrol.
I mean,
just
they were
have
too
the-
busy walking towards her, and they didn't even fire. Really, like, they let them walk out. Like, basically let them walk
Yeah,
out.
like,
It was at a brisk pace, like no energy at all. And honestly, the girl really should have died right there in one of the most heavily fortified Imperial bases. Honestly, it
Yeah, like-
blows my
like,
mind.
there was, like,
that
almost-
she lived.
there was
what-
almost no immediate consequences for breaking into the most secure facility in the galaxy, aside from, like, Vader's castle on Mustafar.
Honestly, like, what?
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
it-
they had the
it-
tracker that led to the
Victor,
Victor, you said short tangent. I think this is going on. It gone on enough. So let's move on to the next point because this is Jesus. I think
I'll
we've.
get upset. I'm sorry.
I think we've gotten the point across.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good,
no
Flair.
TIE fighter equals bullshit. There we go.
Sure.
But let's move it over to a more positive one that's gonna keep us optimistic, and that is Obi-Wan standoff with the Stormtroopers. I like that. Gorham.
Now, that was interesting. I didn't think
Gorham,
everyone was
this
going
is
to talk about that.
Gorham. This is your point.
Oh boy.
What?
I said, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, the enthusiasm.
Yeah. Gorham.
I'm here.
Yeah, well, it's your
Are you
point.
gonna talk about
Are you
it?
going to talk about your point?
Oh, I thought you were gonna like bring up a whole ass new point. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Oh, this
was
is
the
your
Obi-Wan
point with
standoff with the stormtroopers. That's your point. Talk about it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good high that was the high point of the episode. The fact that he the like where he used the force to hold back the water.
Yeah.
That was like his first moment of like, wow, I still got it.
I still have a bit of power in me.
I did like the little Star Killer reference that they had, if you remembered it from like the Force Unleashed 2 trailer, where like they're in like the little dark room
Yeah.
and like he pops up, stabs him, and then goes away and pops up again.
I did.
I did like that.
The rescue
Bro,
of
he
Leia
went
was really cool.
Assassin's Creed. He
Yeah.
went Assassin's Creed on them.
But yeah, so on the stormtrooper standoff thing, I did like that. It showed that he still has it. You know what I mean? It was gradually coming to him. I did like that.
And they had the Purge Trooper in there too. I wish that we'd have saw what the Purge Trooper was.
That was cool. That was cool.
First live action Purge Trooper.
Yeah.
Not a Death Trooper, but a Purge Trooper.
But it would be cool to see more of those though. Now that we actually have them in live action, it would be cool to see more of them. Maybe in like them, I don't know, maybe the fucking Mandalorian or some shit. Considering they're introducing every single.
That's literally where everyone's going. The Mandalorian.
They're revealing every single stormtrooper to have ever been in a comic ever, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
but you know what? I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it if I'm being honest, because like it's like seeing someone that you've seen on the you've seen them in the comic book, so now it's cool to see them on the big screen. But okay, Gorm, any extra points on the standoff with the stormtroopers, dude?
No, I mean it was a really good scene. I think it was the best, like that best scene of the whole episode was just him like there were like a hall of enemies on one side and he's just holding them back and then just drowning and then he just drowns them because why not?
Yeah, I mean didn't really have that much else to do.
Could have thrown the lightsaber and prayed.
It's like I'll spare you this horrible death. Don't worry about it. Okay, just throws his lightsaber like fucking Vader. Okay, now Vector, you have 2 points. Let's start with the most sad one first. Which is when Obi-Wan realizes what has happened to most of the Jedi. You want to run that down?
Yeah, honestly, that was crazy for me to see. I mean, like, there are so many, like, hidden Jedi in there that we possibly could have seen throughout the day, but we don't know. The only one that was really confirmed for me was the Jedi teacher that helped out
Tara
Ahsoka
Tano.
Yeah, Tara Sinube.
Yeah.
Which that one really sucked for me. I was like,
that was an upsetty, dude. That was an upsetty moment.
That was a heartbreaker. The fact that Vader would be so prideful, and the Emperor would be so prideful to have all the Jedi who didn't escape to just be plastered on the wall. And there's like 3 or 4 rows of so there's like hundreds of Jedi or people in there that got bodied in there, and the youngling kid.
Bro,
that poor kid.
when I saw the kid, I was like, okay, so this is the extent that we're actually going to. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we're gonna be like this today. Okay. I didn't think. I mean, like, in some parts of this show, they started pushing the envelope forward of how devious the Empire really is.
Yeah.
And these are one of those moments, like with Vader snapping the neck. We never thought I'd see that. Jedi tombed and possibly living or dead. I don't really know the status of them.
Yeah.
Like, just stuck in that, whatever that substance is, it kind of looks like amber for the rest of time.
Yeah.
That is, wow.
It's like the only reason why I didn't expect it is because it's Disney, but like in terms of like reading comics and stuff, it makes sense.
You never saw that in Force well, in Fallen Order, because you were just there.
Yeah.
Like what the crap? Like where was this at?
Yeah, but I do like that it was like, because that just makes it even more like, oh shit moment.
You
You know
know
what I
how
mean?
depressed Obi-Wan. You know how bad you got to beat up Obi-Wan throughout this series. Like, yep, dead Jedi. Just all I see are like the kid from the Sixth Sense
It's like
is everywhere.
as if him knowing that Anakin is alive and
Is alive.
it has become what he is, as if that's not enough. It's like,
That's
bro.
nope. Here, are all of the people you ever knew in the Jedi Order
Yeah.
dead, and
It-
you get to look at them.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
That is. It can be, oh my god, that is heartbreaking.
Gorham, any specific thoughts on this?
So I'm not much of like a Star Wars. I'm not into like Star Wars as much as you guys are. I don't get a lot of the references. Like I didn't catch the Quinlan Voss reference at first
Oh,
until
okay.
somebody pointed it out, and I'm like, oh shit. So like, I know those were like Jedi and like Force sensitive people that were, I guess, ambered,
Yeah.
and like they got Jurassic Parked.
Yeah.
But
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
but like I didn't recognize anybody immediately, and then I
Right.
ended up seeing like somebody be like, "Wow, that one person was this guy from this one episode of Clone Wars," and I'm like, "Wow, I can't believe I missed that, even though I've never seen that episode."
Oh. Fucking fair enough. Fair enough. But all right. Then
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, he might have been in one episode, but it like Gorman, like if you had seen it, it's just really like he's just like a really like stand-up guy, like a stand-up Jedi, and it was really cool to see him mentor Ahsoka.
He's got a white
And
lightsaber.
he has like one of the coolest lightsabers designs like ever.
It's
He has
a
a
cane.
cane lightsaber that's like all white. Like that shit looks sick.
And he's also a very powerful Jedi. But okay.
Yeah, and it's
At least, well, you said he's a stand-up guy. He'll be standing up for the rest of his life now.
Fuck, I
Oh.
knew that was coming. I knew
Oh.
that was coming. Okay, let's get a bit more cheered up, shall we? Vader choking Reva, Vector.
yeah, that's so I'm gonna have to just agree with you, Gorm. That was the best part of this whole episode. By
Actually,
far,
yeah,
no
I-
comparison.
No,
This
no, no,
was
no.
the greatest pinnacle of this episode.
No,
Is
it
seeing Vader
wasn't.
stomp through the
No,
hall
it-
and say, "Where is she?" Like with freaking Reva.
Okay, that part was the best small moment, but it got completely ruined by the fact that he didn't snap her neck.
But
That is true,
But-
and I was about to get into that. But just to see how we just got a small little dose of what should have happened to Reva.
You hear
But-
we were
James
just-
Earl Jones.
We were on the edge of
fucking-
greatness.
Like
We were this close.
James, like James Earl Jones screaming at her, like pissed. Like that shit was epic.
but you know why?
Like he literally had no effort throwing her ass full like 10 feet in the air,
but you-
only for her to whimper. The tracker. He's like,
but
the
you know
fuck? What do you mean you have a tracker?
you know
Why
why
should I
I
care?
didn't
I
get that
told
pissed
you.
off?
I told you from the beginning, bitch. If you fail me, you won't live to regret it. Those were his exact words.
You
and I
know,
was waiting for him.
but this is why.
But he does it later.
But I didn't get pissed off because this was when, now clearly not for you, but for me this confirmed that, okay, Grand Inquisitor is probably alive, because I was like, okay, if he,
Why hasn't he?
because
back yet?
I was like, what he would have done is he would have gotten the tracker details or whatever the fuck, he would have killed her
And then
and then done what he had to do. But I was like, okay,
Do it
so
himself.
so the only explanation for him not killing her is he knows that
maybe I did you too harsh.
he
Like,
knows
what the
that she is in some way, shape, or form bluffing or there's something going on here. He knows that because he's probably, the Grand Inquisitor has probably already come to him and be like, hey yo, so this happened. So I think that this is actually Vader pulling the strings of her from this very moment. That's why he let her
I mean,
go.
she did get one of the weirdest promotions of all time.
Yeah.
From Inquisitor getting choked 10 feet in the air only to be called the Grand Inquisitor shortly
Mhm.
thereafter.
And I think that was like
I mean, it's just another one of those
that was like a
Vader power
dig.
moments that I really like.
That was like a dig because it was like Grand Inquisitor, wink wink. Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
alive. So I feel like that was kind of what that was, and that was why I personally didn't get so pissed because I was like, yeah, there's definitely something else going on here in terms of that, and I think that was my entire thought process on that was your boy's still alive, and he is fucking
I'm
with you.
glad to see Vader flex. Like, I don't care. I love it when Vader flexes. It makes me happy when he flexes.
Oh, does it now? Okay.
It does. Yes, 100%.
All right.
And no homosexual way.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Victor, you got socks on.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Let's
All right.
let's move on to episode 5. Okay, Gorham, your first little thing that we're going to talk about is something that we did discuss a bit earlier, which is a bit like we have our thoughts on this on that about it, and that is but it was a very good moment I felt, and it was emotional, and that was Tara and her fucking hammer droid sacrificing themselves for everyone else.
I'm
Yeah,
more
that's
sad
just-
for the droid than I was for the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, really sad the droid was like getting shot at. I'm like,
Just
man,
in the back
like-
too, just standing over her.
Yeah, just fucking protect. I was like, come
bro,
on, dude.
he's like, I know this is not what happened in the episode, but he's like, yo, I got you. I'm gonna make sure you get out. Then she just pulls the pin on her grave. He goes, man, bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like,
Like,
hey, yo.
what the hell? I thought we were gonna make this
yo.
out. What the?
Like I thought, it's like I didn't just get shot half a dozen times for you to pull a fucking hand grenade
Yeah,
out.
it's like, hey, yo.
Hey, what is she like? Well, I guess this is it then. And powers down.
But like, imagine that, like you're sacrificing yourself for someone, and then you
Yourself
see that
for
you just
somebody, and
see
then
them
they
pull
know
a
we're
pin,
both
and you're like,
dying.
you see them pull a pin, and you're like,
Aw.
excuse me, bitch, what the fuck?
I literally am sacrificing my life to save you, and you're gonna kill us both. What
Yeah.
the heck?
Oh, it's like, seriously.
I mean,
Yeah,
I get it.
like-
It's her last
Yeah.
stand.
And also,
They have to give her a
and-
heroic moment so she doesn't feel wasted as a character.
but also,
It's just typical trope.
I guess him sacrificing himself kind of like made her be able to even kill them with a grenade. So
Yeah,
it kind of makes sense.
And like the thing that like Vector, like me and you were talking about this before the podcast. Like the thing that I don't really get about the sacrifice is like she had the grenade. Why didn't
Yeah.
she use it like earlier to like
Yeah, why did
maybe
she
blow
throw
it?
it
Maybe
when
blow,
they were
like,
coming in?
I
She
Or to,
saw
like-
them coming in. Why didn't she just throw it then?
It
like,
was pro- it
there
was
no
probably-
need for the sacrifice.
Well-
that's just plot writing to fucking kill her off so she can't show up in anything
Dude, that
else.
No,
plot
but-
had it out for her. The
but-
moment screen, her days were numbered.
But it might have also been that, like, okay, well, don't use the grenade yet because, well, that's kind of like a last option thing. You kill as many as possible before you use the big guns. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
But, like,
so,
here's the thing, like
'Cause,
they're trying to hold them back. Like, why not
Yeah.
use the grenade? Because it was a strong ass grenade. Like, use the
a
grenade to
thermal
maybe
detonator.
collapse the tunnel.
hey, Gorpimus Prime, are you good, bro?
Yeah, bro, you're very
No,
auto
because
body right
her-
now.
No, you
Her
know.
actions-
I mean, you're sounding like Optimus Prime with your microphone right
Oh, my bad. Is that better?
now. That is better. That's a lot better.
Yeah, that's a
Okay,
lot
yeah.
better.
I
Go,
have-
continue with your rant, please.
Okay. Because, like, she could have thrown the grenade earlier and maybe, blocked, blocked the cave. I mean, it wasn't that big of a tunnel.
No, but like it did. You saw like when she detonated, it didn't do shit to the actual cave.
Yeah,
And
but
I
because
th-
they were
It
the big
literally
a-
did nothing.
But-
Like,
but-
it felt useless.
But like it probably that was probably the thought was like, okay, kill as many, and then this is like when you see one big group, because it's not gonna do that much. Wait until a big group comes through, then you throw it, hide, and then they blow up. Like because like,
you know
you
what
don't
have made
want to
her
waste
death
it.
more powerful? That
She
they
could have
could
at
have
least-
had her death scene. They could have, if she just ran out there with a thermal detonator, that probably would have made it more impactful because she's dying for her group. She's dying for her belief. She's not just gonna sit there and cower behind the droid. That she would have had some gusto in her. Like that would have had a better if you're going to kill her off. Okay, like that's unavoidable. That's where her arc is going. Okay, fine. If she just ran out there full force, not looking at the blasters and taking as many out in the most badass way possible that she could, it would have upped her character arc so much more.
But if anything, I actually like that they didn't do that, because it just shows that some characters, they write like that because it's like, well, some people just fuck up like that.
Well, I get it.
So,
the whole point of it is that they wanted to make her a heroic moment. So they could have made it more heroic if they were gonna do that, because she just saw her friends get destroyed in the wings and all that. She's seeing all her friends die, and she's gonna die for their cause. Like, I don't know, it's the same message. It just could have been written just a little bit better.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's so much other good stuff, especially in this episode, to just be like, you know what? I'll take that one part of her being a bit dumb for the rest of this, because the rest of this episode was fucking insane.
Oh yeah, comparably what we're about to talk about, and one of the best scenes in the whole show by far.
And the next thing that we're going to talk about is at least upping it, and that is which you both actually have, which is just amazing, and that is Gorm. It is Vader destroying the fucking ship, which, can I just say, before any of you go on this, because this is your guys' points, but I loved how effortlessly but aggressive he did this.
Oh, yeah.
Bro. Alright, Gorm, I'm taking yours first, so you're going to start with it, and then Victor, after that, you piggyback with any resting opinions you have on it. Jesus Christ, that scene, dude.
God, they were gonna use that scene for the rest of time to show how cool Vader is. And every montage, I don't care. It's gonna happen.
Facts, though. I mean, I would fucking do it. I would use that to promote fucking season 2. Alright, Gorm.
I should.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, that shit was, like, really cool because, like, we've seen in other Star Wars media, like, how people hold on to a ship. Yeah. And like in
Rise of Skywalker.
The last Rise of Skywalker, where she fucking blows up the ship in anger.
She struggles to hold on to a transport ship that has enough space for like 10 people. Vader effortlessly stops this entire fucking thing. That's 5
with like 50 people,
which is like eight times bigger.
With one hand.
With one hand, not giving a fuck.
Yeah. And then rips the bitch apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
Like, dude was out for blood. Dude was blood.
I'm trying to hold back.
When he started ripping that, I saw the first piece just fly off, I was like, oh,
what the
fuck. They are all fucking dead. He's gonna massacre all of them, and then somehow, miraculously, Obi-Wan and Leia are gonna get away. But they're all fucking dead. They're all fucking dead. And then it keeps on ripping, and then you see it from the inside, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. Oh, okay, here we go. This is Rogue One all over again. This is Rogue One all over again. I like that we're on the same page. Great minds think alike there, Vector. So, I mean, and then
I think,
and then they cop us out.
They
blue ball us.
They blue ball us. But you know what? If anything, I actually kind of like the blue ball. I think it was pretty smart from the Rebels.
I like how Vader just sees the other ship leaves, and then he goes, got me there.
Yeah, he's like, gosh
I
darn it.
I love all the little memes where they show like his force cooldown, where like he used his ability, now that he's recharging.
Yeah, he's gonna recharge his ability.
Shit, I can't do it. I have to wait 10 more seconds. But my star cards aren't up.
He doesn't have the right star cards. He can't use choker.
That man's only on blue. He needed a purple for a faster recharge.
Yeah. No, yeah, he hadn't leveled up his star cards yet, dude. But I you know what? I didn't mind him, the second ship, being like Ayo. And then so I was kind of like, you know what?
Caught it. Bro,
Makes
you know
sense.
what would have been fucking. You know what would have been really cool
he
if
forced
he
through
got
that
he
lightsaber
had the first ship in one hand, right? And as he's holding onto that ship, the second one takes off,
And they just catches
and
it
then he
with the
holds
other
that
hand.
one with his other hand.
That would have been cool. That would
That would
definitely
have
been
been
cool.
sick.
And then I don't know how they managed, and I don't know how they do that to where like he loses one of
Well,
them.
the only thing that would have happened is Reva could have got her sneak attack in later because she's
Yeah,
gonna do it anyway.
Like that, but that was what I liked was like he decided like because she comes in at like I
Just
guess
letting
the worst moment for him essentially because I get he probably is about to take the ship anyways, but then Reva comes in and he's like I think when he
I
stood
gotta
there,
note this
yeah. I
shit.
think
I think he straight away as soon as
I
that
think
ship
that
goes,
one.
I think he feels that she's coming, so he's like, let me slap this bitch up instead without even touching her. You know
Or
what I mean?
I think it would have been good because like I mean I'm gonna talk about the fight scene in a second, but like one of the things Obi-Wan tells Reva and is like, how do you know it'll work? And he goes, because all he'll see is me. I think it would have been good to where he sees the second ship and he catches it, and now we're in this like, oh shit, now he's gonna fuck them up.
Mm-hmm.
But then Reva comes up and he doesn't notice because it's the thing. He's
yeah.
only gonna be he's only looking at him,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's how that ship gets away.
Yeah.
That would have made it
And then like
smarter.
you could
See,
even
all these little touches would have made the show so much better. I'm pissed.
Yeah. But I mean, I
and
gotta
then
honest,
they
I
could have
didn't
even
mind.
done it, and then they could have even made it to where Reva gets like an actual hit on him because like when you get a hit on Vader, it's like, oh shit.
But no, but
I
I mean, she
would
would have done like minimal damage, like just like across his his shoulder or something.
I like that she
Like, what
didn't
the
get a touch on
fuck?
it. I like that she didn't touch him because that kind of like that
Kinda break
no,
it
but
down.
that ties the entire series into a bit of a nice knot of her thinking that she's better than she is, thinking that she can actually take out Vader, and then when she finally gets to it, it's like he, you know when we say that he pulled down that ship with no effort, this fight with Reva was no effort.
It was like a level 1.
Bro, that fight was just like that fight was disrespectful.
It was
That man used
disrespect
her own
as
lightsabers to murder her.
and
Literally broke apart her
Yeah.
shit and
dude literally wasn't even like blocking. He just
stopped her in her
he just-
tracks.
he was like, hey yo,
he stopped the saber at the Force and was literally just like
yeah.
like swinging her lightsaber away using the Force. Like that was disrespectful.
Like
he did not have to do her like that.
In The Last
Like,
Jedi, when they like
fucking
held
sick
each
man.
other's lightsabers away with the Force, I was like, this is dumb in The Last Jedi. But in this scene, it actually kind of makes sense. And it was actually cool because it's Vader, who was just cold.
I mean, think of her Force wall and think of his. Like,
Yeah.
he's just, like, swatting her away. Like, he's got
Mhm.
more important shit on him. I can just see that he's, like, daydreaming about, like, Kenobi. He's not paying her any attention. Like, who the fuck is this bitch?
He clicked on a button on his suit and put on his favorite Spotify chill playlist whilst this is all going on.
Like, just not paying her any mind. Is like, he's not sweating her at all. Like, he's like a level 1 grind, and he's like a master prestige. He's just like, whatever.
To him, this is his daily like half exercise.
That moment.
Yeah.
That time he got his purple star card.
Yeah.
And she was only a green. So
he got some points off of ripping up the ship,
Dude,
and then she's like a level 2.
It was when he was ripping up the ship. He got his skill points.
He got skill points, and then he levels up, and then but she is still on white star cards and only has 2. She doesn't even have 3 yet.
She was a level 3. She was a level 3 like
level 3 Revo.
Okay, let's not pull this too much into Battlefront, shall we? Because
that's too much.
But still,
it's inevitable.
Yeah. If you know Battlefront 2, you'll find it funny, hopefully.
Because I know this might be a small tangent, but like, because you mentioned in The Last Jedi they did it, but I don't know if anybody watched Visions when it came out, but they do that in the first episode. where
Yeah,
Oh
she,
yeah,
I remember.
the guy does.
I
she
remember,
goes
but
to swing on him, and then he catches it in midair using
Yeah,
the
he
force.
catches it in both
no,
of his hands.
but he does it in a different way, because he does it with the way that he does it has been done before in, I believe it was done in Knights of the Old Republic. I think it was done in the promotion material, and also it has been done
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
comics.
Bastila Shan did that
Yeah.
against Malgus.
Yeah, and then
Or Stila Shan, I'm sorry, Stila Shan, not
yeah,
Bastila
no,
Shan.
but what she did was she took her hand and his lightsaber went through it, but with the force ability,
She was absorbing it.
she was absorbing it, but that's different. But it was also something else done with catching it. I think Ahsoka's done it in the Clone Wars, but them just putting out their hand and stopping it with the force.
It's like hitting a brick wall with
Yeah.
a
That
plastic
just-
Yeah,
that
bat.
just shows you,
but in the Last Jedi, I found it dumb because they were using it. They were both using it as like some sort of great tactical move.
maneuver.
But it's not. The only reason why Vader gets away with it is because
He's
pisses
flexing
on
on
her.
her.
Finessed it.
He's flexing on her, and he doesn't put effort into that. Those
He doesn't
two,
even make a move to go for his own
Yeah.
lightsaber
and
because she is that much of a non-threat.
when he catches it like that, there's no effort. When they do it in Last Jedi, no, I mean in Rise of Skywalker, they're both struggling.
Yeah.
So it's completely
it
different.
shows-
So one makes sense, the other one
It
doesn't.
shows you like the leagues of like difference between their skill level.
much
Yeah.
of a power difference there is.
Yeah. So in this scene I liked it, and I liked him literally just dodging and flexing. I did like that, and it was like,
Yeah.
bitch, who do you actually think you are that you can overthrow me? No chance.
No, not today. Then took her lightsaber, broke it apart, threw it back at her for her to attempt.
Like,
Put
"Hey,
the
yo."
lightsabers back again in this cool like parry move.
He's
and
like,
then
hey,
my
yo, try me.
point comes in.
Yeah, and then your point comes in, which is actually a great segue, and that is, Vader stabbing Reva.
And this is the point in the show where it comes kind of full circle for Red Arc that Anakin always knew who she was in the beginning. And if you didn't, we didn't touch on it, but the very first scene in this show is an Order 66 recap of the Jedis getting massacred
Yeah.
in the temple, and you see like these group of younglings running away, and everyone theorized that one of the girls in the show was her, and it was was her, and that Anakin always knew who she was, and that he let her back in just to kill her a second time.
Yeah.
And she survived the same stab wound as a youngling and as an adult.
Like now,
I'm like, wow.
It's like now it makes sense because she's with the dark side, and like we all know how dark side people
And
can
she
like
used
survive.
her
it.
anger to like try to pull a Darth Maul.
And it was a little stab wound at the side of the stomach. That's like okay. I've seen people in Star Wars survive worse than that, so that's all good.
That's just a movie universal thing. If you get stabbed in the stomach, if you get stabbed at that part of your body, you live.
Yeah, because it
Well,
was
except
like a
for-
bit
but
to
we
the
won't
side.
talk about it 'cause I'll get
Lower
upset.
left or lower left abdomen, you will always
You
survive
always
that if you're in
survive.
a movie.
See, that's also why Qui-Gon dies, is because it's just below his chest, middle, just right in the middle. So any major
Yeah.
organ, fucked. Everything is just fucked. That's why he dies. She survives because it's bottom left. And I think Vader does that on purpose as well. I guarantee he does it on purpose as well, because he's like, I'm going to have you suffer a bit, and then you're going to do something and fuck it up.
He's literally toying with her, because then he even
Yeah.
goes, he acknowledges her as a youngling.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, he
youngling.
called her
it-
youngling at the fight.
Yeah.
Like, I always knew who you were, youngling.
Youngling.
I'm like, nah. Nah, Vader. No, he played the
Vader,
long game
Vader
on
is
her.
a fucking menace this whole show, and that's why I loved it.
It's like people that haven't read
Vader, honestly, again, is the best part of this show.
like people that
I would
haven't
even
read the
say that over
comics.
everyone.
People that haven't read the comics, and I guess probably haven't watched Rebels don't know how cold
Know
he is.
how much of a
The only
is.
badass thing they've actually seen from Vader is him in
Rogue One, probably.
is him in Rogue One. Maybe you could make an argument for Empire Strikes Back. But then like other than that, like they haven't seen much of him. And so but like if you know how cold he is, you know that this is fucking primetime Vader is just him being a fucking monster, toying with them, being a menace, being a tactical genius, and just being all around smart and playing the game until he is
ready
game.
to get rid of her.
He isn't the Senate. He is the game. You know what I mean? He controls anything and everything, and you have no fucking clue. He's just fucking with you. I mean, this is also, I guess, considering the point we're at, it only makes sense to bring back the Grand Inquisitor coming back. Which I was like, fuck yeah, I fucking knew it. Let's go. And then fucker shows up again. The Grand Inquisitor being like, hey yo, what up? So I survived. He kind of knew it, so we were both like, hey yo, so should we fuck with her? And it's like, hey yo, for real. And that's kind of how it went. And then he's back to being Grand Inquisitor, and canon is restored again, right, boys?
Yes, the canon was fulfilled.
Vector sounding not so happy about that one. All right.
Wait, real quick. I wanted to say one thing about the lightsaber grab.
Yeah.
I know I will probably never see it, but I want somebody with like a Beskar glove to just grab the blade. Like, not with the Force, just like grab it and like yoink it out of
that.
Like grab it and yank it out of somebody's hands.
It would be cool. Issue is there is no such thing as a glove because you can't actually make a glove.
I know that's why I know that's why I say it'll probably never happen.
Okay,
but like,
yeah.
it would just be so fucking. It would just be so
That'd be OP
badass
as
if you
shit.
go to swing at somebody and they just grab your fucking sword.
Yeah.
They grab your saber.
That it would be fucking awesome though.
That'd be broken as shit.
But I mean, there was one. I don't remember if this was in a show or in a comic book. We're gonna move on after this, but I believe I remember some Jedi or Sith actually grabbing a lightsaber once, literally just stopping it, and they didn't like yank it, but like someone was going for them and they like grabbed it with their hand.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Celestials and the
Yes.
and
yes.
the Clone Wars
yes, I'm
where
talking
the
about Celestials,
father
yes.
just grabs Anakin's shit and says "fuck you"
Yeah,
and turns it off.
Yeah. Where he stops it and then he just like pushes it
moves
back.
it out of the way.
Yeah. That was insane.
The father, the son, and the daughter. Yeah, that's who you were talking about. I knew you were.
Yeah. Like that is probably the closest we'll ever get is the Celestials with the father, the son, and the daughter. But like that, it would actually be awesome if like a Mandalorian actually just had like a Beskar glove and just be like,
If
hey,
it
yo.
wasn't both of his hands, just like a right glove or something.
Yeah. But I mean, it would also make sense tactically to have one but not two. Okay. Episode 6, motherfuckers. Episode fucking 6. Now, we're gonna go into the biggest moment first. And I think I'm probably going to lean... For this one, I think I'm probably going to lean back and just listen to you two talk about this. Because you both have this point. And in difference to all the other points you've had in common, you've both put it first. You know what I mean? You've both put it first in terms of where you put it on episode 6. So you're both just going to be able to just talk about this. I'm gonna give the floor to Vector first. And then Gorham, you can hop in whenever it is open space, I guess. Vader versus Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Before I give you guys the floor and just sit back and listen to you guys talk. Anakin screaming at the end. And
that was a Kenobi reference from Maul.
Exactly. The Kenobi reference.
I'm so glad no one talked about that.
Oh my god. When he
All right.
falls down and yells out Obi-Wan, I was like, I know what they're
It was
copying
a
here.
reference.
I know what
I
they are.
knew it.
I know exactly what they're referencing, and I fucking love it. But I love the entire conversation they had afterwards with him, with his voice mixing with James Earl Jones's. I was like, oh my god, I love this. I love it. I love the entire thing. There's so many things about that scene that we could go into, but there are enough review channels that go into deep specifics about that have more time than we have currently right now. But I'm gonna sit back a bit. I'm gonna let you guys discuss the actual fight scene itself, because that is what you guys have put on as the topic itself. Now, the conversation after, there's so much to talk about. We could probably make a whole episode just about that confrontation, or like part of the miniseries that we're gonna do at some point. So, Vector, talk us through this fucking fight scene, dude. Just run it.
Oh
Run
my
it.
god. Okay. Okay. So here's some context to it. After episode 5, they get into the ship, and all of a sudden Obi-Wan has this moral conscience because the ship is doing like a Last Jedi scene where they're getting chased, but they're not getting hit because the stormtroopers have no fucking aim whatsoever. And then Vader's like, increase firepower, and then they keep going. And then the Rook guy's like, "Oh my god, we don't have any shields. We have to go." And then Obi-Wan's like, "Fine, I'll go." And then they bicker, and then he leaves. And then they go to this random planet that we've never heard of before. Vader goes down there and himself in the Imperial shuttle, and then we get a fully restored Obi-Wan again. He's back in his force mode. He's completed all the tutorial levels. He's got all his abilities back. He's no he's not in the beginner mode anymore, and this is probably one of the coolest fights. I know every fight scene that comes out, people say this, but genuinely speaking, this is one of the best Vader Obi-Wan fight scenes ever. Like the choreography, loved it. The force quake that he did on Obi-Wan just to have him taunt the high ground on him again and just toss force rock and force rock and force rock on him to bury him and just flicking rocks aside like they're earthbenders from Avatar and and Vader just dogging on him only for Obi-Wan to be like, "Oh my god, there's 2 kids out there that I need to love." And then he goes into that shit and then he beats Obi-Wan then he beats Vader by being an earthbender and throwing like a million rocks at him, and Vader's just kind of sitting there doing nothing. And then we get the best moment of it, where he does the lunge strike and he slashes Vader on top of the skull, and that's where that burn mark is from episode 6. And you see Vader cry, and you see Obi-Wan cry. It's like, "I'm sorry, Anakin. I'm sorry for it all." And then they're just, oh my god, it was such a fucking beautiful scene. God, it was so fucking beautiful. Oh my god, it was so good.
It made a grown man cry, right, Victor?
It really, I got what I needed out of it. That was the first time we've ever seen a force quake, like, ever in live action.
True.
That shit was so cool. Alright, if I keep talking, I won't let Gorm won't get any time to speak, so Gorm, please take the floor before I take your turn.
Yeah, I thought the fight was really freaking good. I like how it was definitely like balanced. Earth bending is a thing now. I thought that was really cool watching him throw all of the rocks and just pummeling Vader. And then especially at the very end when they were having that conversation, and like it was like Anakin, it was Hayden Christensen's voice like saying, "It was like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did."
Bro.
That hit deep. So then everyone made the meme was like, "I didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did." And then he tells Luke, and then he's like, bro, that's literally what he told me. What do you
Oh my
want
God.
from me? That's what he literally said. He killed Anakin Skywalker. I don't know what you want from me, bro. That's what he said.
No, he's got a point. I mean, yeah, fair dues, fair dues.
I mean, honestly, the points between Vader and Obi-Wan's interactions are the best part of the whole show. So honestly, I could watch this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could only watch this for 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I don't even really have to watch 1 and 2.
Like, but not yeah, but like also, I would say now. This
Really, just 3 and 6 for me.
fair. Like, but this lightsaber fight, second best lightsaber fight of all time. First one obviously being Revenge of the Sith, because the choreography was back to what it was back in the day. Like,
Not the freaking sequel.
not the sequel bullshit of like jumping away from a lightsaber that isn't even there. Red room scene. I just loved it, and I got this one sense of like nostalgia almost. And then, I mean, like you've always obviously covered all the points, guys. So there's not much more to say, but I just loved it. I just loved it so much. I sat there on my seat, so excited. And then obviously when the fight ends, I went from excited to I'm about to cry. I think I actually probably did tear up. I'm not gonna lie, I probably did. I mean, let's be honest here, but it was amazing, and I loved to see that, okay, there is still hope for example, future lightsaber fights, for example, for the Ahsoka show, etc. like this. I was so happy to see that there is actually hope for that shit. And that lightsaber fights can actually become good again. Hashtag make lightsaber fights great again.
But there's only one thing that made that fight scene not a 10 out of 10, and that's my point.
And what was that? Oh.
Yeah, that's the only thing that would have made that lightsaber so much better.
So you're
if
saying
it was
that
unabridged.
If but are you wait? So you mean that if that thing
we didn't cut back and forth,
if it didn't cut back and forth between Reva and Uncle Owen and Amberu fighting, if it didn't do that, then there wouldn't have been that much of an issue. And also, I'm just gonna say this straight away. I feel like it was a bit weird of Obi-Wan actually making it back just before.
Literally
happened.
in the nick of time.
That was very, very like, okay, so wait, what?
So we got the best fight of all time and the fucking worst fight of all time.
I don't think
in the same episode.
Okay, I don't think it's the worst, because I did like that Uncle Owen and Amberu were actually like.
Okay, I can't say worst, but I would definitely say the stupidest matchup I've ever seen.
But I don't stupid either, because I like that
Uncle Owen and Amberu versus a force-powered individual.
But she's not thinking clearly now, is she? Because
probably not, but she's still trained by Vader, so those two would have got bodied anyway. Even if she was half the power, she's still better than Uncle Owen.
She is still trash and just got trashed. So to me, it kind of makes sense. But I see, obviously, I obviously see your point. But I do love the fact that Uncle Owen and Amberu actually fought back.
And it's kind of like when you have a training katana up against the guy with like a real blade, and then you beat him with a wooden stick. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? What is happening?
But I mean, they were about to lose until she started chasing after Luke, though. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like
in the end, it did make sense.
I would have never thought my whole life that Uncle Owen and Amberu
would have held their own.
Would have had a fucking fight scene against a fucking Inquisitor. Like, never. If someone ever told me, when the Inquisitors came out and someone told me that, I'd have laughed at you.
But then also,
said, are you kidding me?
But she's the only one of the Inquisitors that I can guarantee has not been training for 10 years. You know what I mean? I can guarantee she's definitely the weakest out of the Inquisitors. She hasn't been training for
any other Inquisitor would have bodied Uncle
Any other
Owen
would have bodied them, obviously. But for her, I let it slip for her because she's clearly not even close to the level of any other Inquisitor. She's not even close to
Except
being as
when she
powerful.
can mind read when she can't. When she can plot conveniently mind read your mind only when she can't do it.
Yeah. So like I kind of so yeah, so to me it was it wasn't that bad. I do see your point, but to me it wasn't that bad. Um but I mean yeah, there are pros and cons with that fight, I would say. They still couldn't fucking defeat Boba Fett, though he burnt them to the crisp, but okay. And let's wrap this up with jumping back to Gorham, because this point is, this just has to be, it's not huge in terms of like how much we can discuss around it, but just to point it out and show our love for it, I feel like is enough. Liam Neeson cameo. One thing,
Oh my!
like one thing is Qui-Gon. That's one thing, but them getting Liam Neeson back, I was like, yes, yes. Oh,
And he only said he would come back for movies.
yeah.
Especially said that, like, yeah, I'll only come back for a movie. I don't really care about TV shows, stuff like that.
But then he comes back for Qui-Gon, and I'm
get
like, yes, yes.
Yeah, we got a 2 minute scene with Qui-Gon Jinn.
And then like, what took you so long? I've been here all the time, motherfucker. Like, what are you talking about? It's just you that wasn't fucking ready enough. You
That can't be.
get off your high horse, bro. I've been here the entire time. You're the one who fucked up. I love that. I love that they still had that great banter, between them. So yeah, that's all I have to say on it. I just love that, and I love that he actually that they got Liam Neeson back for it. I love that. Go, you have anything specific you want to point out with it?
Yeah, I like, my mouth literally dropped when I saw him show up. I was like, oh shit, there he is. And funny was that, because a lot of people were getting mad online because it's like, oh my god, it breaks canon. He's not supposed to be able to be a force ghost. But
He
like,
is.
there's a
He taught Yoda before he taught that doesn't make any sense. What do you mean? It literally shows it in season 6 of Clone Wars. Like,
yeah, that's why, like, because people don't know that.
But also he did it in the Clone Wars.
Canon. Know your canon before you say dumb stuff.
But he shows himself as a Force Ghost in canon. No, I mean in Clone Wars. He shows himself in Clone Wars.
As a Force Ghost on Mordor.
He's shown himself as a Force Ghost to Obi-Wan so many times that this isn't a surprise anymore.
His first time showing himself as a Force Ghost, like in canon, is whenever they were on the planet with the Celestials, and he shows up to Anakin and Obi-Wan on that planet. He's
I think those aren't considered Force ghosts. Like, I know it's like some technical or some shit that I don't know a whole lot about, but like, this is like the first Force ghost he's been. The other ones were like something else, and like, I don't know.
But it still makes sense because he is definitely, because okay, so the line goes Yoda, Mace Windu, Dooku, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin. Right? Yoda knows how to do it. I guarantee he taught Mace Windu how to do it. I guarantee that he probably taught Dooku how to do it. Now his ability to do it is obviously now got to be questioned, considering he turned into a Sith, or I guess he was still a decent guy, but still, he guaranteed he taught it to Qui-Gon, and we all, I mean, if you know your canon, you know that he taught it to Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon probably, unless he didn't have time, taught it to Obi-Wan, but I would probably assume that if he didn't, then he would be a Force ghost. Yoda would have done it. Either way, or he would have taught it to him as a Force Ghost.
Yoda first.
Qui-Gon
taught Yoda first.
But my point was, like, if Qui-Gon didn't do it, then Yoda probably taught Obi-Wan to do it. And then,
hopefully.
And then, because it only makes sense that Obi-Wan then taught Anakin how to do it sometime during, like, the Clone Wars, considering the fact that your boy becomes a Force Ghost, and he doesn't just do, even though he's the chosen one, he doesn't just know how to do that at the end of Revenge of the Sith. No, I mean fucking Return of the Jedi. You know, so he doesn't
I
just know
think
that.
they
He must
really,
have
I
been
think
taught
they
that
did
before.
pick that one because he redeemed his soul after killing the Emperor. After
But
all the shit things he did, they
yeah,
like,
but
all right, I
but
guess we'll let you be a Force Ghost.
no, but it has to be taught. That's the thing though. In my eyes, is like it has to be taught. So like Qui
I don't know.
Gon.
Maybe he read up on it before then. I don't
He
know.
he might have, but like
I don't really know how to explain
my
that.
thought is still that he probably taught was Obi-Wan probably taught it to him. Is my thought on it. Let's not get into it. All know that it doesn't break canon that he is a Force ghost. I would
Yeah, it
say
does.
Gorm. I don't know. Do you agree with that, Gorm?
No, I think it's fine. Like
Yeah,
I don't give a shit. It's fucking Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn. I don't.
and also it's kind of like
What
the.
more could you ask for?
But also like I don't understand why he wouldn't have known how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when people got pissed off about force healing in Rise of Skywalker. It's like force healing has been a thing in Star Wars. Force healing has actually, funnily enough, like it has been a thing in Star Wars since when is it? 77 actually. It's been a thing in Star Wars in 1977 because you know when the fucking when Luke is not, you know when Luke is knocked out by the Tusken Raider and Obi-Wan comes for the first time, he force heals Luke. He uses force healing. That is canon. He uses force healing right there and then to actually save Luke.
Are
Essentially,
you serious?
I am serious. So to those people
Oh
that
my
say that
God.
that's not a thing, it's been a thing since 1977. It's one of the first that is one of the first recorded moments of force healing. Now I don't know if that oh my god is a like a this is dumb oh my god, or if it's like, well, people that know this need to shut the fuck up. But even if he didn't, it has still been a thing for decades in the comic books.
Well, this is the first time it was shown. You know, like it's for the only the people who are mainline people who don't really go into the EU, who don't really go into the comics all that much. Those are the people that complain about it.
But I still
People
don't.
who strictly only watch the movies. That's it.
But it still doesn't make sense because they introduce new things all the time.
Exactly. It still doesn't make sense, but that is still the general
So,
audience that's
but like, okay, so Vector, you're the oh my god you came with. What relation was that? Like that is dumb, or was that?
It was just a shocker. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even think
Okay.
about it like that.
No. So yeah. So that is actually confirmed canon. That is the first recorded moment of force healing. So when people say that force healing breaks the universe and that it's dumb and that it doesn't make sense and that it's new and dumb and J.J. Abrams fucked up the universe, well, tell that to George Lucas. See what he says, because he's kind of the one who made it up like 50 years ago. Okay. So on the Qui-Gon, I think there's only one thing for us all to say, and that was that we were all fucking super excited to see him as a Force Ghost,
yeah.
Liam Neeson coming back.
Jaw
Right?
hit the floor on that one, like Gorm said.
Yeah. Anything else to put on that one specifically, Gorm? Or were you just happy to see it?
I was just happy to see Liam Neeson main.
I mean, that is great. By the way, did you guys know that Darth Maul is the only character ever to kill Liam Neeson?
Yeah.
Only person ever to kill Liam Neeson is Darth Maul, which also just shows how powerful Darth Maul actually is. All right.
Fucking Seth MacFarlane killed Liam Neeson in A Million Ways to Die in the West.
What? When did that come out?
I don't fucking know. I think it was like 2015, 16.
Yeah, okay, but then it makes sense because before that, he was the only one. But and also I don't know if that even goes into the I haven't seen that. I don't think actually, but okay.
Yeah, no, he shoots him with a poison bullet and he fucking dies.
Damn, that sucks. Okay, well that has been it. We are out of time and we've gone on for a while, but I mean discussing these 6 episodes, that's what's gonna happen.
Almost 12.
Yeah, we've gone on for 2.5 hours almost. But you know what? It's
I need to go to bed.
It's a big It's a big episode. It's a lot to talk about. If we had Guy on here, we would have been going on for about 4 hours. thank you all so much for listening to the Off Topic Podcast, or the Tangent Podcast, whatever you want to call it. It is the High Council Podcast, but we do go a bit off the rails. By the way, Off the Rails episodes coming out very soon, hopefully. So hope you have enjoyed. Obviously, like if you want a very detailed, like nitpicky, going into all the nitty gritty details of every single episode, there's so many other YouTube videos that do that already. That go into like the specific, like, so you missed this in the episode, you missed this. We're just here to throw out our opinions on it. Have you listen to it? Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Anything, throw it in the comments. Throw it in the comments on YouTube, on SoundCloud. If you're listening on Spotify, hop over to YouTube, leave a comment, or you could hop in the Discord. You can hop on the Twitch. We're gonna get an Instagram very soon that you can interact with as well. That is just gonna be the High Council Podcast, or the High Council, probably just the High Council, and obviously logo is gonna be the same as everywhere else, so easy to find. That is coming soon, so you can interact even more with us. Then it's just send a DM and whatnot. So thank you all so much again for listening, watching, whatever it is you do. If you just put this on to sleep, to listen to something in the background once you go to sleep, still appreciate it. I mean, you pick up shit pretty well when you sleep. Actually, you pick it up a lot better than when you just sit and read it. Fun fact of the day. Gorm, thank you so much for hopping on another episode. It's been a pleasure to have you on again, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, dude. Any fucking time. And Vector, obviously, you're a member, so you're on the payroll, so you kind of have to show up once or twice. Thank you for being back again, obviously. Making the time to do this. Now, Vector, part of your payroll is obviously doing, ending the podcast in a certain way. So, do you want to, what you got for them this time?
Oh my gosh, I don't even think I have to even say who I'm going to send out to them.
Reva?
If you don't subscribe to the YouTube, don't get us on our future Instagram and our Spotify and our SoundCloud. I don't even think I even have to say who I'm going to send. I think it's pretty freaking obvious who I'm going to send if you don't get it together. Absolutely nailed it on the head. Nailed it on the head.
It's free real estate. I think just say the fucking name. Let's get it out there. So that they know.
Don't do your due diligence and helping out this lovely podcast, this great crew, and got to send out Darth Vader after you, man. Like,
bro,
like I don't make the rules around here. Like, it's just how it is.
It's kind of just how
it is.
Me scared.
You got me scared for a second. I thought you were gonna send Reva after me.
Yeah, bro. Hey, yo, don't
you
send
know what?
Reva.
I don't hate them
Jesus
that
Christ.
much. I don't hate them that much.
What? I mean, hating them that much. If anything, it would probably be fucking hilarious. Killing someone with a lightsaber, getting a lightsaber. That would be. You would nice them. You would nice them by giving them Reva, dude. Could have just shot her with a bullet. Did you know that they've actually shot with metal bullets against Obi-Wan once, and he almost lost because like his lightsaber like melted it and it blinded him. Anyways, if you want to Google it, like just Google like fucking normal bullets lightsaber or whatever the fucking, you'll know the entire thing. Thank you all so much for listening, following, subscribing, whatever it is you do or can do to help us out. Again, future Instagram coming, as Vector said, as I said. If you don't do the stuff, you don't put in the work. Vector is sending Vader after you. And I mean, his name is Vector, so you know he's a pretty fucking powerful being. I mean, have you seen Despicable Me? Whew.
Yeah, top on reduction of magnitude, looking ass.
I will get the shark cannon out. I'll get the squid cannon out.
I mean, Gorm says the guy with peanut butter on his face. Anyways, so thank you all so much for listening to another
profile picture, dude.
Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the High Council Podcast. And all that is left to say now is goodbye there.
Bye.
Bye.
No.
Okay.